Sepoy is still a very good unit, so turns out that they can tolerate a little bit of a nerf.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 in this best of 5 series between Tit and Kaiserklein. This is for the weekend tournament Season 1 playoffs. We have the top 8 players playing it off, I suppose. The 2 players we have today are Tit and Kaiserklein, both colonels here apparently. India versus France. We'll start with the Indian player. He is in the colour blue, spawning, I'm not sure, I cannot see the map, on the right-hand side. Saving EP recorded game, absolutely. Oh my goodness, we spawned into a map for the first time, and it appears to be working. And I don't have to fiddle around with maps anymore, because it's built into EP now. The UI observer maps. My UI does appear to not be. Oh, I'm just, it is really installed. Ha, I got you there.
I was like dead quiet, like, uh-oh.
Psych! No. It's a meme. Game should be starting momentarily. Let's put Control-Shift-F on in a moment. Firstly, though, I just want to have a look around the blue player's base before we introduce him. See what we have. 40 coin in the front there. In the back, we have a bear guarding 40 wood. India will be quite pleased with that. 60 wood up where his explorer is headed. Going straight for that. He's going to find a sheep as well. It's going to be a nice farm. Oh, he's going back. Where's he? No, he sees the sheep. He sees the treasure. He's going for it. It's absolutely fine. Yellow elephant. Not going to be seeing anything for the time being. But here he is. Tit playing as India. Going to spam Sepoy, apparently, says H2O. Does find a sheep with that southern elephant, though, near the trading post, and is about to come across a native scout. I don't think we'll be going for that. Let's take a look at the red player now, Kaiserklein, playing as the French. Here he is, a couple of villagers on wood there, putting up a market. Is going to be wanting to get the hunting dogs upgrade. Take a look at his explorer, going for 90 food. Going to be a nice find there, and uncontested, no elephants in the area. Looks like we have some lag. Hopefully we'll clear that up. He's going to steal the elephant! Not the elephant, the sheep. Does manage to get there. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Let's just see. Give it a second, because I did close the overlay on the other monitor, but I don't think my computer's not lagging at all.
No, mine's not either. Yeah, a bit. Alright then, hopefully that stays. Take a look at this battle between the... Oh no, the elephant is going to be wanting to get out of there. We have the explorer coming in. He notices just in time. Looks like Kaiserklein wanting to get straight into hand combat there, snare the elephant and stop it from getting away. Going to get a couple of pot shots on it as it retreats. And now secured this cow treasure in the area, although not particularly valuable. Does pick up that sheep that was being contested and has found 60 food. Probably going to be going for that. Tit, on the other hand, has found 60 wood up in the north. Lots of wood treasures, going to be quite pleased, although he didn't go for that one in his base.
I think, I mean, the 40 wood base isn't worth going for. I don't think he did a good job.
60 wood in the north.
Yeah, I'm expecting he's going to go to the 60 wood immediately after this. He only stunned one wolf here, and he'll probably just walk up and stun the other. And if you look across the map, there's really nothing else worth getting at this point besides, the 60 food that Kaiser got.
Trying to pull the elephant there.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you look at the start here, Tit getting 4 sheep, which are huge for India, getting the extra XP trickle from those really pays off and makes it a lot easier for them to get their shipments rolling. And then he's got the 160 wood worth of treasures that he can potentially get here if he's on top of it. And I just don't expect Kaiser will make it back here in time. India does have 1 stun up, so we should be able to clear this pretty fast.
Yeah, clear them down, get the wood treasures up, and he'll be quite pleased with that.
But one other thing, Tit is not leaving his base yet. Kaiser is up, classic French, 13 village up actually with a market. So that's pretty fast. And Tit, on the other hand, does not even have a villager walk across the map yet. And Kaiser's scouting for that, so I wonder if he's going to go Carney or is it in-base Agra? We'll have to see in a second.
We will see, absolutely. We'll see what he decides to do. Has almost got all of the food he needs, 20 more. Doesn't look like there's any forward villagers, so nothing. It's certainly going to be defensive. Agra fort going down there. Let's talk about the... Oh, there's nothing to talk about. I was going to mention their first shipments. Normal things here. 3 villagers and the wood trickle. Age 1, though, is now sort of over. Both players now aging up. Who do you think got the better start?
I think the India player probably got the better start considering all things considered, the Explorer sets and all of that. Able to get 160 wood as India is quite strong, and Kaiser, although he did get 2 native scouts, and maybe if you look at things overall, had a strong H1 as well. You kind of expect to do a little bit better than as France. So The lack of the big polar bear treasures really hurts France, though, too. Kaiser heading back to build a very defensive TP. He's confirmed the aggro's in base as well, so he knows he's not going to be getting hit too hard here. I wonder what Tit's plan is here. You know, was he going to put any pressure on in Colonial, or is he just going to do the kind of hide behind the aggro and get all your market ups?
And play a eco-heavy game and make sure everything's going alright. Well, Kaiser is now up to the next stage. We'll see what his first shipment is momentarily. 400 wood on the floor there, and let's see what he elects to build with it. As you mentioned, trading post going down. Barracks in base, and
4 CDB as the first shipment, which we'll see soon. His population snuck up there, which means 4 CDB's on the way, which means it's more of an economic opening here. You know, it could be followed up by 700 wood or 700 gold. If we see 700 gold come after the Vils, then we'll know it's going to be an FF, probably a 10 Musk semi-FF. And what Kaiser also does quite a bit in this matchup is he likes to go, you know, muskets with the 2 Falk shipment and make an early timing push. And Tit getting his 2 Sepoy right out on the map right away, one of the advantages of going with that aggro fort is you do get 2 Sepoy out instantaneously upon aging up, which is a lot faster than having to build a Rax and run a full batch out of it.
Yeah.
He also has Sepoy and Q, so he is intending to put on some pressure, but has the aggro far enough back that Falconet timing should be easier for him to hold.
Yeah. 4 Sepoys have just been created. Looks like Kaiser has scouted them, though, with the native scout there in invisible mode. Cords of 600 wood as India's first home city shipment. We'll see what he makes with that. The 2 Sepoy now approaching. I think he was looking at this trading post, see if there was anything there. Perhaps he'll walk back and use the 2 Sepoys to perhaps pull the others forward, see if he can get there a bit quicker. Going to walk into his opponent's base, take a few pot shots at some villagers, and maybe even pick off a musk if he can. Looks like Tit just rescued a Native American warrior as well. Perhaps he will come down. Looks like a bit of a contention over a treasure. 80 food in the bottom there. Musketeers coming in to help. And this could be bad. Sepoy obviously a little bit stronger than Musketeers, and more often as well. Going to be caught out here in the open. If he is not careful.
I'm surprised Tit wasn't just willing to go and commit to that. He has 1 extra musket unit overall, and honestly, Sepoy, like when you have really strong muskets like this, you can kind of poke at the corners and just get free picks. Oh, Tit's gonna get this. Tit steals the 80 wood and
takes
gets
the
out.
treasure. And Kaiser had to pay for that. Half HP on a musket gone down, and took a volley off the Sepoy as well. So essentially a whole musket down, although none of them dead.
This
just
is
yet.
just absolutely causing him some trouble, though.
A return volley on a Sepoy there, so now fairly even in terms of damage done. That Nuka Warrior could be quite helpful. 200 HP of pure soak.
Yeah, in cover mode especially, if he gets it into that. And Kaiser now sees exactly how many Sepoy that Tit has. Wonder why it's lagging.
Doesn't Tit traditionally lag? No.
They do, but seems like it's been better lately, but we'll see.
20% CPU. I'm obviously not going to do a speed test, but I was about 15 ping. That doesn't really mean anything because it would. Never mind.
All right. So house is going down. Cav, interestingly enough, going for the Cav coming straight out of the India consulate. I think he's going to go for some sort of a timing push here with the 3 Hussar as a snaring resource, hoping that Kaiser's aging. But Kaiser, on the other hand, he's hiding a stable away in the back, and he's building a lot of muskets. So if he hides these, and the native scout again very nicely seeing everything coming. So Kaiser knows there's 3 Hussar out. He knows that Sepoy are still being rallied to his base, and he can build units accordingly.
I might try something to improve the lag, but it would involve pausing.
Do we want to pause? I can pause.
Well, wait until they're not in a fight.
They're not in a fight right now.
I might disconnect, but then reconnect. Or would you prefer me to not risk it?
You should try it probably because the lag's not good.
Okay, 1 sec.
Yeah, and I wonder what's going to happen here with this push. It always seems like Sepoy pushes go well no matter how you prepare for them. So it's just a matter of how well they go. Unless the CDB soak. He doesn't have great coat yet. It'd be nice if he had a little great coat or something here just to make the CDB soak those extra couple of Sepoy shots. I always forget to get great code. I need to have like a little sticky note in the corner of my monitor that just says like research great code.
I'm back. I don't. Oh, I'm not in the game. It's kicked me out.
You disconnected?
Yeah, I can't get back in.
Alright, I will screen share with you and we'll go like that.
Okay. I think that basically I just put it on a wired connection, but it involved unplugging the light.
Yeah, that's gonna disconnect you. Okay. Oh, a donation of some sort just happened, but I can't see it. Thank you for the
Amateur. Amateur.
Alrighty. And we're back in the game. Looks like going for the most important building in the game. Tit is sieging the market, and Kaiserklein's already gotten all his eco-based upgrades, so he wouldn't mind losing that building. And a lot of times having the market, like this positioning on the market's really strong for Kaiser, because it makes it hard for Tit to get into his base without putting himself out of position. And more Sepoy rallying in, the 3 Hussar hiding in the back of the base once we got the mini-map. And as of right now, it's just kind of a standoff with Musketeers poking each other, and Kaiser has clicked up now, so Tit not finding anything with these Hussar in the back of the base is just an East India fishing as well. So interestingly enough, Tit staying H2, going for a little bit of water play in mid-colonial. I would argue this is maybe one of the weaker times to do this, just because using the name scout, just because this is exactly when Kaiser wants to be pressured the least right now, when he's sneaking in the age up and starting that vet musketeer tech and sending the 2 falconets. So we'll see if Tit's able to get into Kaiser's base here before the vet tech finishes. Kaiser doesn't have any gold though to finish that tech too. It's really important that he starts that right away here.
The veterancy tech.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it closely because the C player is going to walk straight in now. And I missed it if he has falconets on the way. I'd like to believe he does.
Yeah, we would hope so. Otherwise, he's got this mono unit composition that's going to get absolutely slaughtered. Well, actually, I suppose Tit only has mostly Musketeers units as well, although he does have the ability to add Sepoy quite easily.
It's definitely coming, yeah, because he's got 55 copper to stuff. Yeah, you're right.
No one makes this much Musketeers without it being on the way. Trouble is, it looks like he's going to be okay. The veterancy halfway by the looks of it, and obviously doesn't want to engage until that's up, because obviously it's quite a meaningful addition to the army there. But not having to engage, Tit not coming in too far, and Kaiser going to be okay.
Yeah, what always interests is, like, I don't understand how, but it always seems like Tit does relatively fine against the 2 falconet shipment. Like, everyone else just kind of seems to fold over like a lawn chair, but I think his strategy is just to say, you know what, I can just make more Sepoy and then walk in and right-click on the falconets, and that's usually more or less how he gets them, whereas I usually try to do weird shit with, like, making Soar or other things, and I don't, like, Tit doesn't even make a stable. He's just like, I'm just going to keep making Musketeers, and I'm just gonna be able to have way more Musketeers than you do, and the falconets won't.
How do you feel about that as a strategy? Obviously, Sawar or cavalry in general, melee damage, quite good against falconets. You know, they don't have any resist there. Whereas, you know, you have to fiddle around with your composition. It can be awkward. You have to macro. It's harder. Do you think making Sepoy, or we've got the Hussars there, perhaps there'll be, and a few Sawars as well.
He's gonna push this issue. I do think the Sepoy are better. I guarantee you, in about 30 seconds, we're gonna have Minutemen coming soon. And he's gonna push the issue with the cav flank from the top.
That has to be it. A bunch of Sepoy just created that.
Where are those Kiers? These 3 Kiers are very important coming from the stable. They need to get here before this surround comes, because if they get here, they can stall for a ton of time.
Look at the cav. They're intercepting units on the way there. They're gonna. The Musketeers, can they get into hand combat? It looks like we have them coming now onto the Falconets. Can he get the Musketeers to protect? Sepoy trying to focus one down. Cavalry now in the back. Musketeers doing now hand combat. The cavalry going to get out quickly. The Cuirassiers in here as well. Cavalry down. Falconets still alive. Sepoy trying to focus them. 1 cannon left alive. Lots of damage being done by those cannons. Really, really nice. Doing a little 360. No scope. A tiny bit of HP left. Does finally go down. Looks like Tit did manage to get it, but lost quite a lot of units doing so. Kaiser now stuck with lots of Musketeers. This one awkward composition without the ability to really add much to it for the time being.
But he does still have. He still has 6 full HP Cuirassiers, and he's making skirms and more Cures. I love that he's making Cures because the Cures are really going to force the issue. And so even against full Sepoy, Cuirassiers are probably a reasonable choice. anything to tank while the musketeers get off shots on the sepoy.
Yeah,
And
lots of HP.
if you look stats-wise, each one of Kaiser's muskets is basically just a sepoy with a little bit of additional attack, and so at this point he doesn't even have the sepoy advantage. And I love this pause too, just with how weak India houses are, just grabbing 2 or 3 of them here is going to be a real big help for him.
That's so nice. There's so much siege potential in that ball of muskets as well. Looks like that one Zambarak going to go down there. Cuirassiers they're going to find the stable.
Nice reaction time.
And then he's going to get out of there. He doesn't want to fight. Done lots of damage, and now is it what's it now? Time to rendezvous with these skirmishers.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to push in any further. What's he afraid of? Yurumi, something like that?
No, I think he's not afraid of Yurumi because India's still colonial, but he's not really afraid of anything. Actually, what he really wants to do is be efficient here. 5 skirmishers in the mix after killing what he believes would be Tit's only racks is really a strong position for him to be in. Every skirm is going to basically be unthreatened with the amount of muskets and cures around. Plus, he just sent in 8 skirms as well. So I imagine once the 8 skirms and the additional batches we see coming get here, he'll be willing to commit to a fight. And until then, he's just going to siege and basically push the issue. So like if Tit isn't going to make Kaiser walk away, why is he going to walk away? Right? He's going to stay in siege.
That's true.
And
he's just going to stay here and be pesky, do as much damage as he can. Here comes some sepoy, a few Zambaraks in the back there.
He's going to commit to this. I think Kaiser will commit to this.
Yeah, where are they? They're trying to posture away from the Zambaraks there.
He wants the skirms to come, like I was saying.
Oh,
he's way stronger when the skirms get here. And he's like this. Look at the patience poking like this. Not being lazy at all and getting great in the sequence.
Yeah, here we go. Sepoy have arrived. Pardon me, skirmishers now going to take pot shots at those Sepoy. Those Sepoy want to get away. They don't want to fight. The skirmishers getting quite far forward there. I hope there's no cavalry there.
They're fine. So the 4 SAR shipments in. There's no pops left. Minutemen have been called. The only pop left is Tiger Claws if India has it. India does not have Tiger Claws, so there's no way he can get popped right now. He's just gonna use those to cover these sieging units on the consulate.
Oh, I see. Keep them away. I like it.
And this is what you want to do with your high siege units. Ooh, backmine did not come on.
Oh. Well, how relevant is it?
I'm not sure if that's going to undo this if you can't win this fight.
Yeah. You called in some fish. What have we got over there? Let's watch this fight, actually.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously has been efficient this entire time. He's got a huge economic lead.
So the Cuirassiers, they're staying back here. What's his aim here? Posture them away from the units and use them for what?
Well, they're used for siege and they're used to prevent any commitment of any sort of handicap.
Okay, so they don't want to go in until they're absolutely sure they're going to be fighting.
Yeah, like he's going to go in and poke here and then he's going to run away when he sees the hand attack, or he should. And they always know he's got enough now where he feels comfortable.
Yeah, okay, and that's GG there by the looks of it. Okay, I'm getting back online. I should be fine. The ping should be fine now.
And game 1 goes to Kaiser.
Game 1 goes to Kaiserklein.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if having a back mine was going to change the East India timing, but...
Damn.
Was he just going to like let his TC go and let everything go and just win the game with 1 gold mine in the back corner? Maybe. And why can't I update the score?
Your game sounds loud, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten...
Oh,
yeah,
you
I got
clicked out.
tagged. I have to fix that in the future.
It's frustrating. My solution is to...
Yeah, I put it
Have
on
it.
max and then the Windows do it. Yeah, I know how to fix it. I'll just fix it. Okay, so it sounds like that, and then... Windows 10, you confuse me. Do you know how to... it's not worth it. I don't know how to get the mixer up on Windows 10. I'll fix the game sounds once I'm done tabbing out.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah, so there is.
Okay. Looks like the game is hosted again, so I think we have to paste the maps. Delete Hudson from the list. Probably should copy that again. Yeah, you were. I think you were yellow or yellow-green, but you left before anything like of note happened, unless with the exception of the 80 food, but the usual struggles. So
yeah, I think they traded some volley, like one volley of Musk's got half HP off a Seed Boy, and a volley of Seed Boy's got half health off a Musk, and that was it. And then I tabbed out.
Yeah. I think this may be the first time I've streamed since upgrading to Windows 10 actually, and I think it just like cleared all my settings. That might be what's happening. Because like everything was wrong.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry you had to do that, but
Yeah.
I guess it's in the long term probably something Microsoft want us all to do.
Yep, they're trying to make it happen.
Yeah, well, they're succeeding.
Yeah, Windows 10 just not my favorite though. Anyway, so I think that was a good match overall. I think what really cost it the game more than anything was the timing that he sent the East India fishing thing. Like he sent it at the moment when he needed to have the most pressure, and then it didn't pay off until it was well too late because Kaiser was able to put on the counter pressure.
Nice.
Alrighty, so looks like we have Alaska banned, so that means that Tip picks from this list.
Alright, so we have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps by the looks of it, and players... How does this work?
Yeah, so the winner bans a map, the loser picks a map, and then the winner picks a civ, and the loser picks a civ after that. So it's the same as any other tournament that we've done in the past where the winner picks first, but the difference being up front now, the winner also gets to veto one map go ahead of that.
I see, just to like offset some of the potential hard counters and...
Yeah, give you a little bit more control over what's coming, although at the same time the loser does get to pick a map, so I'm sure there's some situations where this is a little bit more difficult for you and other situations where it's better. I
see. At least it gives you the opportunity to ban a non-TP map if you want to play a civ. The thing is, though, if the trouble is if there's more options of, let's say there's a couple of non-TP maps in the set, then you have to sort of commit to a civ that can do well on a non-TP map. Whereas if there's only one, you could ban that non-TP map and then play whatever you liked. But anyway, that's something to think about, I suppose. H2O says Florida picked. And Tit replies Taunt 1 for Florida has been picked. Alright then, British versus, and now Kaiser picks his civilization. See what he had in store. Can he play French again, or is that now disabled?
There's no civ resets, so French is gone.
French is gone and there is no reset. I like that. I like the idea of not having a reset at all.
Yeah, the reset was helpful for trying to make it less diversity requirements, so people who can only play 3 civs could still go at least through a round of 5.
I like that, but equally I like rewarding players that know few civs. But then I understand the need to actually get people to play the tournament. There is certainly that. We'll see what he does. France is not an option. We'll see what he chooses. Tits committing to the British on Florida. How is that early market going to help out with the British? I guess it's the same for any civ, but...
It helps quite a bit, I think, because a lot of times it's hard to get a market as Brit, and you actually do... If the sooner you can get Gang Saw going, the more valuable it is for your transition chops, so I think it's quite good.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. That is, yeah, for civs like Spain and France, that Gang Sword is going to really help out. It's only 100 food.
Yeah, like Spain, too, it's quite helpful, you're right, because normally you can't get your market until way later. Unless you want to mess with your build.
Yeah. Any civ that has to chop during transition that doesn't have access to those 400 wood politician, basically.
Yeah.
All right, then. I suppose we'll be checking the mines more accurately.
Yeah.
And food. I love that how in your games during tournaments, you're always like, the first thing you say, hunt's okay, or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's usually usually I'm paying attention to that, but I don't know. As a caster, you're thinking about 18 other things besides whether or not the hunts are spawned correctly.
Well, my focus was on Treasure Guardians, wasn't it? Oh, we have Russia coming out by the looks of it to go up against British. This is the matchup. Let's click in, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Russ, says H2O. We do have Tit versus Kaiserklein. This is game number 2 in the best of 5 series for the weekend tournament playoffs, the Grand Tour, we have been calling it. These are the top 8 players from the tournament so far, from the mini weekend tournaments, and out of those 8 we have Tit and Kaiserklein here in the playoffs. Hopefully we'll green in soon because I'm halfway through my intro.
He's got to build a deck, so you're gonna have to have an awkward pause here while we see what decks he has and figure out what he's doing.
Alright then.
It looks to me like he's building the water deck that he needs, would be my guess.
I see. I kind of wish there was no such thing as decks and you could just like send whatever cards you felt like. You had access to all of them.
Yeah, that might be nice. Gosh, how do people have so many decks? I can't even... I have like one land deck and then I'll make a deck only if I have to.
Yeah, that's how I like to play, but sometimes you need something set up for, I don't know, if you're playing an RE patch, you might land on Hispaniola or something like that. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're now in the game. Spawning in the blue colour, we do have Tit playing as the British in the north. Saving EP recorded game. I can see a muskrat treasure, and that's it. Here we go. It was a 30 coin treasure, by the way. Not that it's important. Here we have Tit spawning with 2 wood crates, gold, 3 food, and of course that market that you get on Florida are going to be extra helpful, as we mentioned there. Let's take a look at the treasures nearby. 40 coin. That's going to be nice, because I imagine we'll end up buying wood.
Let's see, wait a second. You have starting hunt 1, 2, 3 deer. Starting hunt 1, I guess there's turkey, 2, 3 deer. There's turkey. This seems relatively good to me. Then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 1, 2, then the 3 in the front, the 3 in the front, the 1.
Yeah,
All right, this looks good to me. Sorry, I just want to be extra careful because some people are being a little sensitive to their...
Of course, and we should be. We should always be sensitive. We should, or perhaps he won't even bother gathering the wood, the coin crate on the floor. Oh no, he probably will. We'll see what he does. I don't know why I'm so interested in those kinds of things.
I'm looking at Tit now, so you want to start us off in the chat.
Okay, alright. Let's get into it. Okay then. Yeah, stuff. He's found a 100 food treasure, 2 blowgunners. That's a nice treasure there. Is he going to go for it? By the looks of it, is stopping, pausing to go for that. 100 XP has been picked up by the Klein, and that's going to get him well on his way to his first shipment. I wonder if he got that in early enough for it to matter. I think he did. First shipment now coming available for Kaiserklein, so that's actually really quite good. Going to get those distributivisms going. Kaiser has now got hunting dogs in queue as well, so that is pretty good. Looks like, though, there might be a bit of a treasure contention. Red is coming in to pick up the pineapples, apparently, worth 100 food. Fighting the blowgunner. Has lots of HP, this guy, and takes a while to kill. The way this is set up is quite awkward, because he's being attacked from the back, and he doesn't really want to move away from the blowgunner, because it's got...
Kaiser can easily get this.
Yeah, he's going to have to now. He's going to take huge damage. Does go down.
Kaiser
Red got the last kill on that, but Tit... on the ball, does manage to pick up his food there. Nice attempt from Kaiser, and does get a good amount of damage on that Explorer there. Going to take off a large chunk of the HP and send it back towards the base. Not going to be doing any more treasuring. Looks like Tit notices that sheep and goes to get that en route to his base. We'll see how far Kaiser wants to push the Explorer now. Of course,
is usually very aggressive in these situations, and Tit's trying to de-snare himself. I think he will get de-snared, and plus he's in TC range, so Kaiser's going to walk in and stun him down a little bit.
Do you think being aggressive here is important? I mean, there are treasures on the map that France could be going for, and he does have the native scout, and also building a trading post is something he's going to want to do. He's going to want to get home at some point for that when playing as he's playing as Russia. Sorry, pardon me, I thought he was playing French for some reason, but...
running up on 75 wood here, he will be able to get that, and he's he's pretty confident that Tit will not be here just because of how he zoned him out, and I'm sure Kaiser's thinking Tit's in the other half of the map since he hasn't seen him yet. And if we take off the Fog of War real quickly and just see 105 coin will be a nice pickup for Tit here after getting zoned out quite hard. And otherwise, though, on that side of the map, he's more or less finished up treasuring. So Kaiser's losing the 100 food, but able to maybe lock down this 120 coin or some of the other treasures that are on his half of the map.
Yeah, there's some good treasures on that side of the map there. We'll see what he does. I mean, if he doesn't know he's done treasuring because he can't see, but we know that. Both players now going up to the next stage. Both players have their gang saw going, and British has transitioned all his villagers over to wood to gather what he needs, of course, for the military building and the manners that he wants to make sure in transition. Let's take a look at Russia, putting a few on coin there. It looks like Kaiser has enough for a blockhouse. We do see a couple of forward villages there. They will be picking up a sheep, nice, and throwing down a blockhouse mid-map, perhaps even closer to the British player. Where is he going to put it? Do you think on top of the turkeys here? Is that where he's going, or perhaps near that trading post there? Manor house going down on top of this hunt that he's and then the villagers, the forward blockhouse village is not going quite that far. Looks like he is going to be on top of these turkeys and near that mine.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like he is going to be somewhat aggressive. And the hard part about Florida, although there's a ton of hunts, I think it's quite a good map for Brit. Your hunts can be a little bit spread out. So, I mean, if I look over on the right, these two villas over here will likely not be able to gather for very long. Meanwhile, the other deer getting pushed over here, and the remainder of Tit's hunts are, the other deer in the back corner. So,
so a
4 or 5
contain
Cossacks can do a lot here. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, with all these spread out hunts everywhere. Looks like Tit is now up to the colonial age. 200 gold and a tower has been placed down next to these deer here. So that's quite a nice placement. Going to be able to gather there at least for some time. I wonder what the Russian player's first shipment will be. No, I don't. It will be 5 Cossacks.
Yep, and then there's a stable going down from Tit. Tit leaving 1 ville behind on this hunt. If Kaiser goes here, which I think he maybe doesn't even have this scouted, but if he does go straight to that corner, that will be the only ville he's able to get before there's some cav out on the field. 4 Hussar already in queue, and Kaiser just building a TP at the moment and getting his first 5 muskets in queue right now. I'm focused more on the villager production.
And there they are, the wicked Cossacks, absolutely. Can we get some Tamulriks in the chat? 4 of them veering off straight into the base, and 1 heading towards this manor. I really like that. Going to pick up that 1 villager. Actually going to do so. There's no way that's going to get home.
Popping soon, though.
Yeah, they're walking towards the stable, which indicates they're going to pop. Yeah, as Kaiser, you would have seen that coming. And now 2 cavalry snared. Dropping 1 back. Is going to have to drop the other back, perhaps, and let those 2 get away, or maybe two cavalry by the looks of it are going to get away, but does manage to pick up that 1 villager on that hunt where the manor house was built, but does lose a couple of the cav there. Musketeers now coming in, can take out that villager before he can get this manor house up, does pop into the town centre, not going to be the case. This barracks is something he's going to want to get up, delaying that, going to siege down the manor house whilst it's in the construction phase, get as much damage, does go down. The cavalry now coming in, going to go into hand combat with the musketeers. Cavalry now coming forward to keep those hussars there, though I think the power of the represented by the hussars is stronger, especially with 2 more joining the fray and the town centre fire as well. Russia going to lose all these units. 5 more musketeers joining here, and now these cavalry are going to want to get back. Going to pick off that 1 last musketeer. Oh no, we're back in it, fighting again.
Yeah,
that barracks still
looks like this should be cleaned up. Russian muskets are a little bit weak, and Tit doing a great job here of doing the hussar only type of hold. Kaiser did do a ton of damage. These hussar may look like there's a lot left, but 3 of them are almost dead, and really both players just controlling really well there, and that was kind of the best case outcome if they're both playing well, which I think in this case does put Tit a little bit ahead. He's got time for his wood here to start coming in to build more houses, but 5 muskets just continuing the pressure, and Tit does have 3. Yeah, Tit does have 3 muskets in queue right now, so I think he should be able to crush these 5 right around now.
Here they come, gonna slash these hussars, switching to hand combat and then retreating there, not wanting to commit, perhaps fearing 5 more, or perhaps another military shipment or something like that. What do you think of Kaiserklein's decision to keep sending, streaming 5 musketeers in at a time? 5's not very many, and they're going to get picked up by that town centre and perhaps other units that Blue has. But, the flip side of that is he was able to siege down buildings that are in their construction phase. But don't you think it's a bit reckless just to stream 5 in?
Yeah, it's a bit. I think it was important that he did it though. He was making very like cost effective, almost maybe cost neutral type of trades before Brick could get all their houses rolling and all that. And we're looking to, like all Tit's manners are just starting to come up now, so they definitely got delayed a little bit. I think it was worth it, and he got out at the right time. And all these hunts down here, importantly, have been abandoned due to circumstance, and so this top hunt up here is the last secure hunt that Tit will have. Don't get me wrong, he's got a lot of food still, but that was the outcome of the push.
Okay, so there we have it. 5 Hussars are now streaming into Kaiserklein's base. I like what he's doing with them. He knows those musketeers are wrapped up near the blockhouses in the middle of the map, so they're not going to be able to stop these Hussars from putting some pressure on the villages there. It doesn't look like there are any villages on that left-hand side of this base where the Hussars are. They're not on the hunts or that mine nearby, so this Hussar's not really going to be doing any damage and or pushing any villages anyway, but worth a try. Sadly, 4 Tits is not going to get anything done here. Lots of musketeers we have at the moment near these town centers building up, near these blockhouses are going to be building up forces before moving in. Looks like it might be go time. Now streaming in with the musks now that he's remasked, and has a Cossack in queue as well. So we're going to see cavalry added to this composition, and perhaps maybe a shipment as well. We'll see. There it is, 4 Cossacks. Definitely go time. I'm going to take out this manor house in the middle of the map, supplying vision. And looks like the population isn't particularly relevant at the moment, but still could be later. 5 settlers is Tit's next choice. Going to keep the eco stuff rolling, and we'll see how long he can keep this going for this eco to pay off. At the moment has access to hunt in the back of his base there, nice and safe, and coin as well, whilst Kaiserklein sieges the house on the front and now moving forwards.
Yeah. And importantly though, I mean, so Kaiser's going to see this Ville on the right. There's raids going on in the back. While this entire push is going on, there's going to be a lot of multitasking during this fight. Kaiser is pushing in now, so we'll probably focus on that and keep our eyes in the corner on the mini-map for anything with the cav raids. Picking off 1 musket here, Tit just kind of stalling for time here. And I think Kaiser's probably going to want to walk away here. And catching all 6 of these cav with the Cossacks, this is really big. A lot of these are 1 HP Hussars, so he's going to get to clean this whole mass up. And meanwhile, he just walks his muskets away to safety. This is a huge exchange, because this now allows Kaiser to gather anywhere he wants without really being afraid of getting raided, and it may also even lead him into starting to mix in some Strelets here, just because he knows the cav mass is so low. And when Russia starts mixing in Strelets, that's when they start to really threaten those stronger musketeer type civs like Brick, for example, which has 2 upgrade cards for their muskets in Colonial. As it stands though, Kaiser probably walking in with close to 50 muskets here, probably 45-ish would be my guess, coming in on the racks here, and just going to continue to put pressure on and not let Tit kind of have his game plan. Cossacks ready to the back, but
Look
those
at
may
that.
get intercepted.
All of those musketeers having to go back there and force those Cossacks away, whilst Kaiserklein on the front here sieging down the racks uncontested. Looks like those Cossacks might get caught though. We have some Hussars here coming in for an interception.
Probably worth it.
Stop there, manages to get them there. A lot of them are low HP from the previous Cossack fight that they had. Going to keep back here. Looks like blue schooners coming in.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I mean, so earlier we may not have noticed this, but there was a house foundation here when Kaiser was sieging the house. It looked like Tit was trying to start to get out on water, but I don't think that Schooner is going to be able to be dock. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to afford to build a dock. What he's going for is, I think he recognizes hunts are running low and he needs to have an answer to that relatively soon. And so it looks like he will try to sneak a dock in this corner here and just start to slowly weave some fishing boats into the game. Whereas Kaiser, on the other hand, is building a blockhouse here, and his plan is to really contain the British player and deny him some of these outlying gold mines and any shot at hunting further. So really, it's gonna be I think it's going to be tough for Tit to deal with all these Strelets, but at the same time, that might have been his only kind of play at this point after getting contained a little bit here.
Might you describe that as tough titties?
I might.
Might. Strelets added in. So this is now making it a bit more scary. There are a lot of Hussars here, so it does have the potential to keep those musketeers alive and soak on the cavalry there whilst the musketeers do lots of damage. That outpost looks like it's going to go down. Can he save it here? At this point, no, he's getting back. He doesn't want to fight that at all. Strelets trying to get back there. They don't want to fight the cavalry. Getting through a gap, making it hard for the units to pass. Cossacks joining the fray. Minutemen have been called here And those blue hussars not really able to do any damage. They're just walking around. It looks like the Cossacks are trying to get involved as well, whilst all of this red infantry in the back is doing lots of damage and shooting really, really nice.
Yeah, and looks like Kaiser's recognizing now that he's got to do a little bit of hit and run action here because the hussars are just tanking so much damage. And
Mind
now,
you, look at Blue's got a lot of units here. This is looking good for him.
Stronger.
Five hussars joining the fray as well. Look, the musketeers going into hand combat. All of them missing a few, perhaps
10
a
more
volley and a
muskets
half
coming
there.
just in time. I think those 10 muskets are keeping him in the game right now.
And now he can get out. Now he gets out, right? Yeah. That was nice. Although he's still on the back foot and certainly has to retreat away here. Does have a few more muskets joining the group. Looks like Tit is not going to pursue. Boyars is now in. Only going to be benefiting a couple of Strelets, though, although going forward, obviously, units trained will be stronger. Cossacks and Strelets, that is. Blue going to use this opportunity whilst Red is on the back foot retreating and has fewer numbers to take out this blockhouse in the middle of the map, which was before denying access to some of these hunts in the middle of the map that you were mentioning, and coin mines as well. Now going to be able to reclaim that map control and that map presence, and is going to be quite pleased with that. This big eco of his going to be able to take hold. Let's take a look at the recalculated population here. 51 to British. It does, 52 now. A slightly 10 villager lead almost. 9 villages actually.
Yeah, which is pretty typical for Brit. So the fact that Kaiser's within 10 vills of Brit is not a bad place to be. And
yeah.
If you really look, let's take a second and just while they're kind of reorganizing themselves, let's see what they're going to be doing during this time. Tit is finally starting to get his boats out of the dock. Two boats out yet, so it hasn't quite paid off. He's also building a few walls. He's hunting in this back corner. He has all of his upgrades, except for placer mines, which he may want to get at some point here. And then he is also hunting over in the upper left corner, which he was not able to do until this push happened on the left, and he was able to free up that space. So that was why he was pushing. Kaiser, on the other hand, has vills scattered everywhere, which is kind of the advantage of being Russia and having that threat of always catching your opponent out if they leave their base.
Yeah.
And so if you look at Kaiser's shipments as well, he sent Boyars, which is huge, and also Economic Theory. Tit also sending Cav HP. So both players here are really just gearing up for a longer colonial battle here with upgrades to kind of help them out.
Yeah, I mean, Kaiser almost lost the game when those cavalry were chasing down those that red infantry was on the retreat, and you saw those extra muskets just get in there just in time to fend the cav off and stop a snare, to stop those units from escaping. They didn't manage to do that. Those extra muskets arriving just in time, and still this game going. So a really nice game so far. Blue does have quite a bit of a score lead at the moment. And in terms of, but in terms of units, they're roughly even, although obviously red units slightly weaker, being Russia. Now 10 villages up by the looks of it for Blue. But Eco Theory did just come in H2O, so that means immediately when Russia has 50 villages, that's like a 5 vill shipment all at once. So actually, these populations for economic units not as far away from each other as you might think.
Yeah,
and,
right.
The looks of it,
he's got like 5 extra vills, so he's sitting at, like right now he's at 57 vills, let's say.
Yeah,
so he's
so
only
a very,
7 vills
very
out.
even game at the moment. Trouble is for Blue, he's running out of hunt. All these villages on mines at the moment because there's not a lot else for them to do. All the hunt is, just look at it all, pocket it in the middle of the map over here. And Red, Kaiserklein, taking the opportunity to build a blockhouse and sort of get ready in that area. Because that, I imagine, is where the fighting will move to soon.
Really important here, Tit is aging up right now, and he actually hasn't had a rack since that one was sieged down ages ago, so he's just building a racks now. If Kaiser had a read on that, he could be in the base right now, putting on a lot of hurt, because he's got a ton of muskets, and his opponent has not been able to build any additional infantry since that fight. So it's basically just all Hussar, and that's kind of it. And timing these 2 caravel shipments with a push right now, really brilliant play from Kaiser. He's going to make his opponent have to deal with the water while he has to deal with the land at the same time, and that is exactly the worst thing you'd want to have to do while you're also trying to get an age up in, which is a slow time.
Oh, this is such a bad time for Tit to
Look
be
at
aging,
this.
and
This is
the British
huge.
age up, which takes a long time. Yeah, oh my
Tit sees
goodness,
it,
Cossacks
though.
coming in.
And meanwhile, at the same time over here, catching the infantry out. I wonder, though, is this going to actually
Oh,
be...
look at the gate play. Is he
Wow, what is going on here? This is ridiculous.
He can build a gate and walk through the other side. Actually, no. Maybe he's okay. He can walk around the side of that village and be fine. Trouble is, these caravels are going to take out that dock and then make it very difficult for those fishing ships to stay alive. Look at that, getting that low HP caravel out of there. Going to send it back to the dock and have it heal up. Does the other caravel have enough siege potential take down this dock without losing all of its HP. I suppose that's why the muskets are here. He wants to get this dock low HP and then siege it down with his musketeers, making all the fishing boats exposed, and then use the 2 caravels to finish it up. Gonna get this boat out of here now. It's low HP, and gonna have it heal up.
Yeah, Kaiser's building a caravel. I think he's misreading the situation, and I wonder if he's gonna cancel that a little bit. Once
Tit aged up with a caravel, and he might pursue those low HP ones if he's savvy, and maybe he can kill them. At the moment, just using it to fight Strelets on the coast here. Does manage to go down, take the dock down, and fishing boats spewing out everywhere. We'll see what happens with them. Back in his base, though, we have a couple of Strelets pressuring these vills. Lots of cavalry, all sorts of blue units here.
And all the med techs are on the way too. This could be very, very scary for him.
Yeah, manages to get up. Perhaps he was distracted by the dock. Maybe the thing he should have been pressuring was his opponent's base.
He's going to bring his caravels over here and try to use those to just abuse the range factor to make the cav a non-issue. And I think 2 Falconets coming out right now.
Oh, look at... This is so... The only thing stopping those Strelets from getting destroyed are trees, obscuring that pathing from the cavalry, and does manage to survive. Bringing his caravels back up here. Now back to full half HP, and is going to be able to contest that caravel, especially since the broadside from both the caravels will be repaired. Cavalry taking out all of these musketeers. Thankfully, it's not red Strelets, though. He's going to have to escape in a boat. It looks like he's got a full HP one. He's going to get in there, loses all the musks, but thankfully able to save some of the Strelets, and that caravel is going to mosey on away.
Meanwhile, Tit's sneaking up 2 more docks, so he didn't even lose his water. Now, I think a caravel going down here. Oh, that cannonball missed.
Look at that! 19 HP on the caravel!
4 HP!
Oh, what the hell? He gets it out of there! Oh, baby, look at... Oh, what a save. Holy shit, 4 life. Damn.
Meanwhile, though, Kaiser's entire forward base getting pressured in now. These 2 Falconets and the carded and veteran Hussar are 2 very scary combinations for Kaiserklein to deal with. And he is Fortress, which is important to know, but he's definitely got to stabilize here a little bit. And I wonder, he has no units in queue at the moment, so I wonder which direction he's going to take things here. Tit blocking his vills in the middle of the map, and this TC getting scouted. Will it finish? These Huss are sprinting over here trying to deny it, but I think he's got enough HP to be able to finish this.
It should be. Why can't Eurovills build town centers? I find that really frustrating. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just a hangover from vanilla, I think. I think that ought to be changed in EP. I don't see why not, unless there's some weird... Oh, look at all these villages being chased down by Hussars.
Manchu.
Oh, that's fine then. Manchu are here. Is he going to lure the Hussars in with the Strelets? No, the Manchu just want to protect those, get on out of there.
He needs to get some minutes out here or something. I mean, if he can hold this town center, this could be his chance to stabilize. Veteran Strelets are in. My graphics do not portray that. Important to note.
Mine do slightly, I think. I don't know. Well, anyway, that town center's got really low HP. I'm not sure if he can save it. Is going to perhaps save it with by making the cannons turn around and face the Strelet. Actually is going to lose that town center. 500 would rip. Did he get the Minutemen out of it, though? If he did, that would have been more worthwhile. Always valuable to get Minutemen. Looks like Blue securing some map control with an outpost up near these hunts, but this is where it's going to get dicey. This is where the fighting is going to be happening. Look at all of these resources over here. Yeah. I think Blue has
another foundry.
Presence. Look at that. Yeah, 4 Falconets. That's going to be really, really tough to deal with.
Yeah, Kaiser needs to get a foundry up, and he's going to do... Oh no, blockhouse. Looks like he's just letting these 2 blockhouses go up here.
Yeah,
he has a foundation up here as well that he needs to clear. No artillery foundry on the way. Oh, he does. No artillery foundry on the way yet.
What for Kaiser? He's gonna. I don't know if he's got culverins in queue, so he must have a foundry somewhere.
No, well,
that's my mistake. So actually, not the case. Yeah, it looks like the red player Kaiserklein just gonna give up. On this map control in the north, those blockhouses going down. He is transitioning to mills, so that's why he's not too concerned. But this, in and of itself, is not good because, of course, we know how expensive mills are and how slowly you gain resources. Perhaps, though, if he can keep going long enough, maybe Tit doesn't pressure right away, he can get back into the game and will have this stable source of income of food. We will see. Hussars, pardon me, not Hussars, cavalry archers being trained, going to join the Manchu. So quite the anti-cavalry force, and maybe that will be some threat to those artillery of the blue player. But if Tit positions his units well, then it's not going to do very much against them.
And notice how Tit sort of cleared out the entire upper corner of his army before pushing in, so he knows right now that there's no units anywhere to raid him or otherwise disrupt him as far as he can tell. And
Yeah.
from there, he's just going to walk in and because he's noticed that Kaiser has not challenged any of the things he's done, he's just going to walk in and start shooting down buildings.
Yeah, and these 4 falconets are going to just destroy buildings, all of that siege attack. And he even has a cautionary culverin added in there just to deal with anything that might happen, and forcing all of the villagers off the mine, and there are no more back mines for the red player here, so gathering coin could be an issue. He does have one.
2 culverins are out now, so we should be able to at least stop the bleeding here, but he's lost a ton of housing. He has the resources to rebuild it again, but always painful, and taking a good advantage of the window that he had there to use those falcons to maximum effect, I would argue.
Yeah, well, lots of damage. It's going to be
might be able to pick this off. If he gets this block out, that'd be pretty big.
Oh,
culverins! They're unpacking.
That's not good. They're unpacking, but they're going to get sloshed by these ranged infantry, the musketeers there, and both of them now dead. Not really taking out very many cannons at all. Looks like he managed. Well, he got 2 cannons actually. What am I talking about?
Yeah, and a culverin, so not bad.
Oh, okay, and yeah, fine. But does lose his falconet as well here, and now it's a lot of blue units versus Red's mostly
a lot of
anti-cavalry Manchu army, which is not going to do all that well versus musketeers. Not the worst trade, but certainly not a good one. Does he have any upgrades that are going to skew that? I see an arsenal there. It doesn't look like anything is teched in yet.
No, not at all. And
more importantly, all of these villagers being...
to make units right now is just in such a tough spot. He needs to get blockhouses up, otherwise he'll be in trouble.
That's the most important thing, right? Blockhouses. But equally, look at these mills. There's no villages, and there's just units on top of them. I think this could... a couple of... is there any Appreciate randomly raiding all of Tit's villages somewhere? That might... No, there isn't. Oh, well.
Yeah, I think at this point...
There's a ton of hussars randomly raiding Kaiserklein's villages, though. But
yep. I mean, Kaiser will be able to stop that, but he's already lost a ton of villas, and you look at the economic population now, Tit has a 30-vill lead. He's also... he hasn't cleared up water, my bad. I thought he was clearing it, but Kaiser still has some water presence, which he has going for him, but unless he can clear out the units that are underneath his town center right now, he's not going to be able to gather any more resources.
So let's drop back. What do you think went wrong for Kaiserklein? Earlier we were watching that Fortress Age. When he aged up, British managed to get there. You know, it takes quite a long time for British to age up. Did Kaiserklein not read the signals and not push in? Was that where he went wrong? Or was it perhaps later, you know, his response with a town centre in the middle of the map that got destroyed? Do you want to talk about what went wrong?
I think it's more I think the way he went for the dock was a little challenge. Was understandable because he wanted to clear out the water, but because everyone's kind of hyper aware of Tit and Kinesi on water. But I think what he needed to do was just get into the base and stop all the vills from gathering.
I remember. You're right. Actually, he spent a lot of time focusing on that dock. Whilst his opponent was aging and didn't perhaps get any damage done on the buildings in and his opponent's units, that kind of thing, in his opponent's base here.
And Tish is playing so well at the moment. He's got a 5 cap in the back, killing all Kaiser's vills on the blockhouse and denying the gather. He was sieging the TC, and now he's walking away from the 20 Starlet shipment, and he's over here with a bunch of muskets also fighting away the bows. So he's really he's fighting in multiple locations, and so far Kaiser's had to abandon 3 different mills. Which is just a ton of resources, and those mill resources that Tit's denied are now going straight into Hussar.
GG. Kaiserklein does resign there. Tit does take, game number 2, making the score
1-1.
Nice. Interesting series, and an interesting game. That was 25 minutes, although perhaps it was over for the last couple. I really enjoyed that. There was some interesting stuff early on. British on the back foot. We saw a lot of pressure from Russia going in there. There was, and then British manages to stabilize. At one point, British didn't really have very many hunts, and we were a bit concerned for him. Then pushes out, and we could have seen a quick end to the game there if the cavalry managed to get in and slosh all those units down. But Kaiser responds with musketeers just in time and manages to keep those units in the game. We then saw some Fortress Age whilst Tit was aging. Kaiserklein, against Tit, as you mentioned, always going to be wary of water. Saw some interesting caravels being trained and pressuring those fishing boats. British does manage to get up and then stabilize, and by the looks of it, pushes out with superior tech. And then Kaiserklein on the back foot ages behind that, but loses map presence. And then, as we can see here, the game has ended. But interesting. I really enjoyed watching that one. Yeah, and I thought the commentary was really good. I was quite pleased with that.
Yeah, it was exciting. Lots of action going on. Tit being able to get out into the map in the middle and secure the hunt. When Brit's able to do that, just so tough to win the game from there. So
All right, and I'm gonna head on out. Let's see what the next one has in store. This is a best of 5, so we have plenty of games still to come. The score is 1-1. Absolutely.
Alrighty, we are waiting for Kaiser to get into the game here, and then we'll join them as well.
Okay. This is where I'd normally play some sort of video just to give me like a quick 30 seconds to a minute like downtime. Oh no, I'm here. Whoops, I shouldn't have joined.
I just toggled it over to actually toggled over where the overlay used to be, but that's actually where I just have my my copy of the stream and everything running. I'll put the overlay up for a second while we wait, assuming it works. I might have 1 minute as well, so.
Yeah, I need to run to the WC real quick. They're both in the game now.
Alright, we'll be back in a second. I guess we can put the regular game up then. They're here now.
Won't be long. It sounded like you just puffed a lot of steam.
I just slid a chair
Ah.
across the
I'm sorry, I thought you were a coal powered steam contraption. H2O.
That's the secret to my power.
Built in the Victorian era, powered by steam. Damn.
Alright,
This overlay is majestic. Fucking right it is.
it's a beautiful overlay.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's
Can't
what
see it.
I'd rather just have the overlay up and we just talk about the game so we can just watch the overlay more. But
I was thinking this today, actually. I was watching. I wasn't watching anything. I was at work, and I was listening to a football match, a soccer match, on the radio. They were commentating over it, and obviously I couldn't see anything, and I wasn't really paying any attention to it. It was just background noise mostly. But I did think, can I cast Age of Empires 3? Can I make up an imaginary game of Age of Empires 3 where you can't see anything, and I'm just commentating it and get really excited about things that aren't happening? And I wonder if that's a thing, because it makes me wonder why people even watch or listen to radio commentary of a match that they can't see. But I don't know. And anyway, that's not the point. H2O, tell us about the maps and the civilizations. What's happened?
So we have chosen Fertile Crescent. Tit really doesn't like Bonnie Springs. That's been made very clear. So Fertile Crescent is the map of choice, and then Tit is choosing Dutch, and now Kaiser has to pick his civ as a counter to that on Fertile Crescent. And
Except we have Florida.
yeah, well, he has to change the map still.
Okay, change map. He's got... Fuck. Titterfuck, if you were to read his name and then what he said. I thought you were the host. Nice. Fertile Crescent. Absolutely. Looks like Tit has selected Dutch. And then the loser picks. So we will see Kaiser select a civilization, is that right?
Yep.
Alright. He cannot play French, he cannot play Russia. Has selected Germany.
Fantastic.
That's a good word. Maybe that should be your word. Mine can be absolutely. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tit versus Kaiserklein. This is game number 3 in a best-of-5 series for the playoffs of the round of 8 of the Grand Tour, the mini weekend tournaments we've been having. The players with the most points, the top 8, have been put into a round of 8, I suppose, and we have 2 of them here, Tit and Kaiserklein. Saving EP recorded game, absolutely. Then we're going to take a look at the blue player, Tit, spawning in the north left. In true interjection fashion. Here he is, playing as the Dutch. 2 wood crates, going to be quite pleased with that, and 4 gold as well. Has 50 coin treasure just north of his base, and I imagine his explorer going to be going for that, because coin for Dutch is basically food, because they can make villages out of the lovely stuff, absolutely. What else do we have nearby? Another 40 coin treasure, Dutch will be pleased with that. In the middle of the map, 50 wood, and 65 coin as well. So, quite a lot of coin for Dutch to be getting. Has crack shot at the tiger now, picking that up. There it is, 50 coin in his base. Envoy heading on off to the left, so we'll find that 40 coin as well. Let's take a look at the red player, Kaiserklein. Here he is, playing as the Germany. Oh no, that's not how that goes. Anyway, going to be building an early trading post, and not going to be scouting for treasures. Going to forego that 90 wood in the middle of the map. Perhaps he will find it, though. It's not like it's on the blue player's side, so can still go back for that. And the Envoy nowhere to be seen near that 90 wood treasure. That is one to watch out for this game.
We might need to restart because of Hunt. I think Kaiser's missing a Hunt. Right?
Okay.
Do we see that? Do you agree? Yeah, we have to restart.
Okay.
It's actually not Kaiser's Tit missing a Hunt. Almost positive he's missing a Hunt.
Nice.
Like, I can't see how it's not missing. Like, the hunts are just very, very skewed. Okay. That's make sure I'm not crazy. This map I always struggle with understanding the hunt spawn, so.
It's such a big map.
Yeah. Hey, look, I paid attention this time and found the missing hunt.
That's good, because I got to randomly talk about treasures, and though you probably weren't looking at the treasures, that's the trouble.
Yeah, well, I was looking around a little bit. I can usually just judge it from the mini-map.
Yeah.
I'm actually scroll around.
I think it's important to point out the treasures, because they are so much of what Age 1 will be focusing on, and...
Yeah, just having a general idea of what's out there is important.
Alright, attempt number 2. As I mentioned, a best of 5, Tit versus Kaiserklein.
Let's try this again.
Let's try this again, absolutely. We'll start with Tit, playing as the Dutch in the colour blue. This map is Fertile Crescent, saving EP recorded game. Looks like they've spawned in the same positions on the map. Blue on the top, red on the bottom.
That was a good P. I really like that.
That was a voiced plosive adjective, by the way. That's the technical term for what I just did there. I love how it's called an adjective, and my name's Interjection. Damn. Any linguists out there? Can I get a hell yeah in the chat?
You're not going to get very many hell yes in the chat.
I can get some absolutelys in the chat, though.
So if you say absolutely and then I say fantastic, then we've kind of got a thing going.
Perhaps. We'll see if it catches. Looks like 40 coin in the back there, so Tit going to be doing something quite similar, going to be grabbing coin treasure at the very start of the game. Envoy veering off to the blue player's left-hand side here, going to be coming across a 30 food treasure guarded by a lion, which is not all that good, that Guardian quite strong. And actually, no, he's not going that way. He might actually come into contact with the 90 wood treasure there on his side of the map this time. The Envoy, perhaps not. We'll see. It's there, though. Certainly something to look out for. As I mentioned, 90 wood, a big treasure, and certainly a point of contention this game. Both players going to be really wanting that 30 XP. Going to be grabbed by the Kaiserklein there. Usually not a great treasure, but but before you get your first shipment, much more valuable, and that is going to contribute to getting first villagers in queue, the shipment ones, that is. Let's take a look at the German player. Here he is in the south of the map. On the bottom here, in the color red, has constructed a market out of his wood.
Hunting dog's almost in now.
Definitely almost in, certainly, and now absolutely in. Whereas before we did see a trading post, the difference being the crates that they started with going to be going.
Kaiser, what's going on here? What am I missing? Kaiser has no wood and no house. Okay, now he's starting to mine for it. Okay, I see. He's going to mine and buy wood. I was trying to figure out how he's going to get his house, but
okay.
I figured it out.
Well, I know how Tit's going to get his house. He's going to use that 90 wood. Oh baby, no, he's not. He's already built his house, but he did pick up the 90 wood treasure, uncontested, and as you mentioned, going to be very useful for that quicker bank. Here is an envoy going through the red player's base.
Yeah, and if we put on the fog of war real quick, the advantage of having the extra scout is shining through here. In the bottom corner, Tit knows that there's only the 80 coin worth getting, and so he's able to scout other parts of the map, whereas Kaiser wasn't even able to find the 90 wood, and he's gotten the 100 food, which is good. It kind of cancels that out, but you know, it's very possible that Tit could make it to this 50 wood before Kaiser gets there. We'll see.
I see.
Tit's almost ready to age up here. At the usual very standard 15 vil age up. Going to pick up 50 coin trouble with his bank. Kaiser did get to the 50 wood, which is going to really balance out the age 1 here. You know, 100 food, 50 wood versus 90 wood and 90 coin, I think, in total now. But Tit will be heading down here probably towards the 80 coin. And Germany's got to be looking to get their TP up pretty soon. So I wonder where Kaiser's going to put that.
Yeah. We will see. Units in queue. Let's have a look. The age ups.
Kaiser's only got one more vil left for a 17 vil age up, and it's going to be really tight, I think. We'll see. I think he's already researching Gang Saw, so he may have to cancel that. We'll see. I don't know the timing here. Oh, yep, he had to cancel it, and he's up on time. That's a really good thing to do, by the way. Start your Gang Saw, and then you can always cancel it if you need to age. That way you don't even need to think about whether or not you can get it in. And there we go, Gang Saw coming afterwards. He restarted it.
Yeah, he certainly wants the you know, if you have the market, absolutely worth getting early on. It's always going to be helpful. Does go for this coin treasure. Looks like red coming in there. Is there enough HP on the tiger to get in close? I think there is. I think it's going to be contestable. Looks like blue hasn't noticed. He's just going to kill the tiger, and red takes the 80 coin treasure there. Perhaps he can get the snare in afterwards. That'd be hilarious.
I think he's going to... Oh,
he does! It. What the hell? Oh, no! Tit, that is not good. He is not going to be pleased with that. Looks like that explorer just going to go down. He's not going to be able to get a trading post, although Dutch probably wouldn't be doing that anyway. So never mind, not actually relevant. But not having the explorer, definitely a pain in the ass, as not going to be able to scout. Thankfully, though, Dutch does have the envoy, and that is going to compensate a little bit. He's not totally screwed by not having any scouting information. And
well, he's going to revive it right now.
Oh yeah, he's about to age up. I suppose that is true, actually. Do you think it's worth delaying the trading post and killing the explorer?
Definitely is worth doing, I think. The knowledge that it provides is pretty valuable.
Okay, so you think maybe camping by the explorer might be a good thing?
Oh no, not the second camp, but just killing him the first time. The delay in this TP that we're seeing right here.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah. Okay, this trading post, the slight delay on that, getting that up, was worth it, but the camping next to this guy, not worth it now.
Yeah,
it's 150 HP already.
Yeah, so real quickly, the Kaiser again going for the 3-settler wagon first, stable build, and Tit going for the standard as well, which is 700 wood first, 2 banks, one with the 400 wood, one chopped on the way up, and what he does with the 700 wood is really going to decide his build. Mark it first. Let's just watch for a second and see where all these wood crates go.
For the Dutch player.
The stable going up now, house going up now, so he's not going for the 600 wood. We're very likely to see a bank wagon and a bank coming in the near future here.
Okay, 3 Uhlans and, 3 settler wagons with the Uhlans have arrived for the, so...
And here comes
3, okay, just going for eco build here versus Dutch. Nothing too aggressive.
Yeah, and these 2 Uhlans barely being seen by the envoy, but not getting to see the envoy as well. So that was quite a convenient little thing that happened there for Tit. He does have Cav on the way, And there's the bank wagon that we're talking about on its way. That will go down, and 600 wood will likely follow. A lot of vills out of position here, and he's going to garrison a full set of 20 vills, which is huge.
Those cavs straight onto the bank. Just the mere presence of cavalry was enough to scare the vills off, and then just sieges the bank with them. And probably quite good since it was in construction, although builds very quickly, so not going to be able to do too much damage here. 5 cavalry have been trained and have now arrived, forcing a villager. He does lose. He is getting a vill, yeah, that one out of position.
And what was nice about this, the reason why Tit only gets out 3 Hussar here is actually because of the 2 Ulhan going into base. He wasn't able to gather, and that could have very well been a 5 Hussar pop for him. Looks like Kaiser going 700 wood, getting out another 3, so he's got 10 Ulhans on the field at the moment. And really, this is a bit of a game of cat and mouse here, where Tit's trying to make as few units as he can while aging up, and Kaiser's trying to do some sort of damage here without throwing away his Ulhan. So it's kind of this, how many units is each player going to make, and I'm trying to figure that out. I like what Kaiser's doing here too, keeping Tit busy on this house, trying to get every torch he can on it. If he's able to sneak out a house kill, it'll make a huge difference here because of how tight Tit is on wood. And there's a huge cav engage here. Our minutes on the way.
Are they? That is the question. I think it might be too late now. There they are, okay.
A little too late, like you said.
Gonna do a little bit of damage to those cavalry with that one last Hussar, being able to keep them there. Oh, maybe it will be worthwhile. 2 more Hussars joining, and they might be able to... No, not going to be able to quite get in there and stop them. The Minutemen not going to be able to do any more damage, but, yeah.
Yeah, 3 more Ulhan joining the fray here, too. So, Tit adding a Rax, and really, the reason why we're watching Tit is because it's really on him to react quite a bit here, and we can just... we're paying attention to is how many Ulhan come out of the German player. Next card from the German player is probably 700 gold in an age up. My guess is these are the last cav we'll see from him. He is getting this is a much easier house for him to poke. I do quite like that angle. And Tit actually repairing the other house too, so he's really conscious of how important his housing space is.
Absolutely doesn't want to lose those. Meanwhile, behind this, 700 coin is coming in, as you were alluding to, and going to be getting up to the next stage. And Kaiserklein has 2 trading posts on the same route as well, so that's going to be really nice for him going forward. Can perhaps get that upgrade. Villager coming back here. Looks like it was, well, the cavalry are heading around that side, not going to be able to kill that villager here. We do have cavalry coming in from the other side now. Are there any low HP villas?
He might get it. No. Tit
he might.
Tit reacting just in time.
I think he is going to get it.
No.
No, not worth that last hit. Looks like he does lose 1 cav on the left there, but forcing Tit to react with those Minutemen.
Where's the bank? Oh, that's bank wagon. I'm being dumb. Tit has 3 vills in queue, lots of vills on gold right now. Not sure what he's macroing for. He hasn't aged up yet. 700 food hits the floor, and that's what he's macroing for.
So he wants mostly on gold and then use that food. But both players aiming to get up to the next stage, and it looks like Tit has done that halfway. Pardon me, Kaiserklein has done that halfway already, and managed to kill 1 villager and do a little bit of pressure. But ultimately, a Dutch player probably quite pleased with his position as well. This is still a pretty even game for both players. Yeah,
and two big things here. One, Stagecoach is in, and it's bringing in wood for Kaiser, I would imagine. I just missed the pass and couldn't tell. Tit revives his Explorer. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. But then at the same time, there's this Rax in the middle, and a lot of times what we see from a German player in these type of situations is they have such a long walk distance that they won't be able to really capitalize. Look at this Explorer snare, but having a Rax in the middle of the map is going to make it all that much faster, and Tit's just clicking up now, right? And he's got no resources. So if the German player is able to really use that shipment that he had, which is on the way, that would be a huge help. Yeah. And about to run out of food here. I actually think that 700 food was quite good. Trouble with Fertile Crescents is hard to get enough hunt in your base. They always seem quite far away from your town centre. Although he does have berries, but that's really a last resort. So not totally out for food, but it's starting to run out. And 8 skirms coming right now. No Vet Ulhan yet. Really, we're waiting for the Vet Ulhan, right? And we're also he's just going to keep sieging and trying to mass skirms outside of his base. I like the way he's playing this, really. I mean, he's not overcommitting to anything here and letting himself get trapped out, but he's still putting a lot of pressure on. Like, this bank can easily go down. Just slamming volleys on that bank there, although now pushing forward
onto a house.
Look at Tit's situation.
It's a much easier kill, right? Something with fewer HP and will do more immediate damage.
Yeah.
Could actually be really quite difficult to... Yeah, now he's popped, right? That's a problem. I think, though, he's got his first shipment in queue, so it's okay.
He does, yeah. But the thing is, he will not get another shipment for a long time, and so long as a big fight doesn't happen. So at this point, Germany actually, it may seem odd, but he wants to avoid fighting at all costs here, and just basically wait, because he just got another shipment in, and so he'll have 2 Fortress 8 shipments from Germany, whereas Dutch will have only 1 Dutch shipment, which is nowhere near as good. And 9
Germany
borders
just
in the
wants...
field.
Yeah, that's going to make it harder for the Kaiserklein to siege down buildings now. So Germany just posturing, building up his mass, getting those shipments out, and trying to do a bit of damage, as you mentioned. He killed that house there.
He needs Vet Ulhan, basically. That's the situation he's in right now. He needs to attack Vet Ulhan, which I don't even know if he just hasn't noticed that he doesn't have it. But maybe he's waiting. He's probably waiting for a stagecoach pass here.
Oh, I see. Yeah, to get the wood there. Doesn't really want to be chopping it. It's a little bit frustrating as he's quite... Yeah. Oh, it looks like that town... Look, he's not going to get that wood for some time because that trading post is going down.
Actually, it's not going to go down. He can't lose it.
Diverted his attention away because of the alliance bait.
That's what it is. If he needs to get this house. It's so huge. He doesn't know it, but it's huge.
Oh, is he gonna, yeah, he manages to get it, but he does get...
2 Ulhans was the cost. 3 Ulhans was the cost for it.
Oh, is that worth?
It's expensive.
Delays the shipment.
Probably not worth it, actually. Yeah, probably not worth it, but just barely.
Okay, so
there's still a tactical advantage. Yeah, there's still a huge. No, it wasn't like devastating, but there's a tactical advantage he has of his opponent's not training any units for a long time now. Because really, Tit needs 2 houses and he lost 1, so not only does he need to replace that, but that just
it's an intangible benefit.
Water. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The cost of killing the house was certainly less than the Hussars, but
it also saved the TP for another pass, right? So it's also complicated.
That's true. That's true. I wonder if he'll get that in now. Has he got units? No, with the wood. Interestingly, Kaiser decided to queue amalgamation rather than Vet Hussar.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
I'm waiting on the Vet Ulhan. I mean, I'm so surprised that we don't see any of it yet.
Well, what does he want from the coin upgrade then, rather than Veteran Ulhan?
He sent 1,000 wood, so he's still got 600 wood. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Okay.
He's making war wagons right now. Looks like he's going to get out a batch of those, and then maybe we'll see the Vet Tech come in now. There it is. There it is.
So whilst the war wagons are walking across the map, he's teching the. Okay.
Yeah,
Town center going down.
Yep, town center going down, and so Kaiser's content to play this as a slower game, which is honestly quite interesting at this point. He's using his military advantage to kind of starve out his opponent, knowing that when the hunt in the back right-hand corner is gone, like where does Tit really go from there, right? He's going to have a big engagement at that time. So, and Tit also did 4 bank FF, not 5 bank, so he doesn't have, like if you look at recalculated economic population, the difference is 6 vills, but at the same time, Kaiser has 1 stagecoach TP. So, there's really not a huge gap here.
I wonder if Blue... Well, that's going to change quite a bit when Blue builds on the upgraded TP line. But yeah, back to the food situation. That food's going to run out, although it might last a while, given that's interesting. Is he conserving food? Is he just finding a way to spend the gold?
This could... Maybe, but this is going to be very scary because he only has a few war wagons, and the Swiss pikes... He needs to fight now. He doesn't know it, but if Kaiser really needs to fight now. And he is going to fight just now, right before the Swiss pikes get in. So
here they come, Swiss pike going to absolutely rinse through the cavalry. They're getting out of there. Look, they don't want to stay here.
They don't want none of that.
They're going to be sniped off by the skirmishers here. That's the main thing he's going to be focusing on, killing those Swiss pikes. Ulan's trying to run.
Really
villagers just finishing on the gold there. I wonder if they're going to get involved as well and try and block those pikes. Get the cavalry around the other side, perhaps. War wagons focusing the Swiss pikes too.
Yeah. I think the war wagons are taking shots on the Ulhan, and really, I think this fight might go the way of Kaiserklein here. Just has more stuff.
Pikes are now down. They don't have that much HP. Their real benefit is when they're in combat. So obviously, what Kaiserklein has to do is run. But yeah, it looks like Red has considerably more units here, and it looks like this fight is going to go to him, losing a lot of Hussars. Cossacks. Ulan. But the Reuters are going to go down very quickly to the skirmisher volleys, so probably worthwhile keeping them in place there. No more Ulans left, or only a few Ulans left, really.
Yeah, and that was exactly what Kaiser wants out of this fight. He's got 3 TP stagecoach at the moment, and an extra TC up, and he's got full map control. So a fight where he goes relatively even and still gets to sit with a slight military lead after beating out the mark of the Swiss pikes and the massive Vet Hussar, like that's a really hard push for Germany to hold, because Ulhan war wagons aren't that great, and Ulhan are a little bit weaker on EP, so you can't just hold that for free like you used to. And now, interestingly enough, Tit sees the dead hunt over here, and he's coming out. I wonder what his reaction is going to be when he sees a TC up there. If he,
just like 2 villages.
It's like I'm so confused. Like how on top of all that, he has a town center too.
Yeah.
Kaiser's got 1,000 gold saved up at the moment. It looks like he's replenishing his war wagons, which is a smart move. The vet hussar are definitely the thing to beat for him at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think with 5 more war wagons, what he'll be content to do is just fight this under the town center if Tit stays.
He doesn't look like he wants to stay. He's getting out of there.
Yeah, and now Kaiser's a shipment, and I guarantee you Black Riders is on the way. Like, there's 1,000 gold. I'm just waiting for it to tick down. There it goes. And that will be Black Riders. I'm almost positive. That's really what he needs to round out his composition.
And at the same time as the Black Riders arriving, it looks like the hunt for blue is going to dry up as well. He's going to have to move elsewhere.
Yeah,
and that's going to be scary.
Just needs to be patient here. Wait for the mark to come in.
Don't get too... Yeah, that's exactly what you do, right? You
like
don't want to fight
if you lose the racks. You got 200 wood and 20 housing space. You could even rebuild the racks if you have to.
Is he just posturing here just to try and make Tit feel threatened by his presence and maybe save the racks that way?
Yeah, exactly. I think... Plus, he's also got more skirms, so he's content just to poke a little bit. This tells me also there's not Jaegers coming, because if he was sending Jaegers, then he might want to wait to do skirm fights when they come in.
Yeah.
But as it stands, Tit's really got to make something happen here, so that way he can gather more resources, like we were talking about. He's got some bills on berries, but just everyone else is scattered around gold, right?
Yeah, a little bit of just a skirmisher exchange here.
He did go to the Jaegers. Interesting.
Well, still, a powerful mercenary shipment, and it's going to have a similar impact. It looks like those cavalry... he could have got like a few slashes off those, but not doing so there.
Yeah, their job is just to stand there and soak a couple skirm shots. And here's the big engage.
Here we go.
Where are the Jaegers? Oh, they came out of the TC in the back here. Tons of war wagons out, though. I think that Kaiser's got everything he needs, even attacking war wagon range during this fight. So they'll be able to hide in the back even more once this massive hussar gets cleaned up. And
hussars.
Yeah, the Jaegers represent just so much damage here in the skirm fight with their extra 10% range resist. There's no way that you can contest those in a skirm fight.
Yeah, gonna have to get out of there.
3 skirms falling on the walkway.
And that's on the short formation, right?
Yeah.
Well. Oh dear. No, Reuters. No, he notices. Okay, that's good. That'd be an interjection play, sending 5 Reuters into a pile of Jaegers. Anyway, quite a few skirmishes killed on the back foot there. Not going to be too good for Tit. Relatively even score and relatively even economic population, but this is where the map control element's really going to come in. And obviously, we know Kaiserklein has better prospects here with more trading posts and an extra town center.
Yeah, so let me just quickly talk about, there's multiple things going on at once right now. One thing that's happening is Kaiser's trying to take control of this gold mine with a tower and 4 settler wagons. His army's controlling the middle of the map, so what's naturally going to happen, I think everyone's going to start jockeying over to here. But at the meantime, Kaiser, if you look at economically, they're even, and while they're walking, I'll talk about this. Economically, they're even, and there's a town center and all this free hunt over here. So really, Tit's getting totally zoned off of his only resources while Kaiser's able to gather. And even just walking away these 40 vills, 20, 30 vills is enough to call it a win for Kaiser, but he's also going to kill, it looks like 8 or 9 or 10 of these.
Or all of them?
Or all of them, yeah.
So many dying there, that's really...
Yeah, he can just walk away right now, and he doesn't need to fight now at all for another, 3 or 4 minutes. It's on Tit to make something happen here.
You're pleased with that outcome for Kaiserklein. It feels like he's just he can play safe. He doesn't have to commit to any engagements. He's happy to just mine away on this coin and feel and just look threatening, shaking his Jaeger fists at his opponent.
Yeah, he's just gonna go clear up this TP and just sit up here. He built a stable for faster reinforcements. Like if you look at what's going on with Tit right now. He's chopping wood and he's on berries that are almost out. He looks like he's maybe considering a cannon switch to try to save the game. But right now, Kaiser is in a decisive lead. And we'll see the score balloon over time, just because there's 60 vills gathering on hunt and gold mines with amalgamation and all that for Kaiser, and Tit's just kind of hanging on here. 2 Falcons out though. That's his play, and that's probably the right way to go about this to try to turn it around. But maybe Kaiser will just walk in and skirm them down. He also has
trying to get back
on the war wagons. Look at the range on these war wagons. Holy cow!
Yeah. It doesn't look good. One of the Falcon and doing the 360 no scope again. That's not too good. A couple of Hussars coming around the side there, but I don't think they're going to be too effective since Warwagon's very, very strong against cavalry. Waltzing in here to take down that unit whilst taking damage from the skirmishes. Probably worth, though, and now back here to fight the Hussars on the back there. Actually, the Hussar numbers dwindle. The Reuter numbers dwindle. The hell, I can't even say the units' names.
I got you. The war wagon numbers are thinning out, and Kaiserklein does have cav combat and range on those, whereas nothing else is upgraded. And Tit's been sending all unit shipments. Yep, exactly. That was the power of building that stable up here. Very aware from Kaiser that all he needs to do is just hold this little corner and get a stable up. He gets a stable up for faster reinforcements. And by the way, 5 more war wagons coming from base too. So he made 10 war wagons on that.
Oh baby, that is a lot of war wagons. That's going to be the reinforcements he needs to lock this down now. And more villagers on that mine in the middle of the map there, going to be able to kill them as well.
Yep, and 7 skirm shipment, another not upgrade shipment coming out from Tit. He has to do it, but at this point I think he's going to be pretty close to tapping out as Kaiser's managed to gain a huge lead economically at this point.
Yeah, and that's the game there. Tit has resigned, taking the score up to 2-1 in favor of Kaiser. A very nicely played game there from him. Everything he did that game was just oozing with precision and think of another similar word.
Control?
He did feel well. He was, yeah. Control is a very good word for that. Yeah.
He had his units in the right positions on the map to control the situation and fought when he needed to and avoided fighting when he also needed to. And didn't panic as well as a lot of times people will see happen when Dutch gets to Fortress. People feel like they need to push it soon, otherwise they'll lose. But Kaiser instead, recognizing that a well-timed 1,000 wood and an extra TC could keep him at par with the Dutch economy.
Yeah. Always felt like it was on Tit to do something. Kaiser in control of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And that puts us at 2-1 for Kaiser going into game number 4.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. I'm really enjoying this series. Actually, they're producing some really quite interesting games.
Yeah, they're really.
There's always a nice. None of them have been like super, like retardedly one-sided. Yeah, talk about war wagons a bit more. I've always thought of them, and I think this is coming from your mouth at one point. The war wagons are just a bad unit that you shouldn't really be training. What was their function just there because, well, you need some sort of ranged anti-cavalry like dragoons, and that just happens to be the one Germany has access to. What are your thoughts on war wagons?
I mean, I think they're a relatively weak unit. Again, I mean, they kind of show through as not being necessarily the strongest here. If you had an equal pop of goons, you'd be much better off. But sometimes you have to make war wagons, and Dutch often likes to go Hussar to force you to do that. So, both players making the right compositions that they needed to make.
Okay, it's just a ranged anti-cavalry unit that's the one Germany happens to have, and they just happen to.
They have to make it. Yeah, it's the same thing with Reuters, actually. It's surprising. I would prefer to have goons over other ones just because of the extra range resist they have, but sometimes you have to make your weak unit, much like the Russian musket, for example, you have to make, or Puma Spearman as Aztec, like who wants to make a pikeman unit, but you kind of have to. So that's what makes the civs unique, though, is being able to squeeze value out of some of the weaker or less valuable units, even if they are unique units.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Great Basin is our next map. I think this is one of the newer ESOC maps. Pleased to see it.
Yep, so... Kaiser has to ban a map first, then he picks from the list. So I'm not sure that we're on Great Basin yet. So when Kaiser places his ban, then we'll let him pick a map.
I see. This is fun. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, okay, he vetoed Alaska. Okay, so then that's what's left. And then looks like around Great Basin, around Great Basin. Okay, so around Great Basin, I can remove that from my little list of maps that we have here. We've got 3 more maps left to go.
I'm pleased you're in charge of this.
Let's see, what do you think Kaiser's going to pick here? People would say he's out of all of his civs, but I'm expecting a native myself.
Who is picking first? It'll be Tit.
Kaiser, because he won.
Oh, yeah, because he won. Sorry. Yep. Got it.
And we're just waiting here in silence for the pick from Kaiser. Should probably also have a little notepad somewhere, so I can keep track of the civs selected.
Sue coming out from Kaiserklein there on Great Basin. It's now on Tit to select his civilization in response. We'll see what he goes for. Tit can no longer play India, Germany. No.
Tit can't play India, cannot play Brit, and cannot play Dutch. And then Kaiser is France. Then some other civ that I can't remember. Russia, German. That hasn't played. So Kaiser's now got Sioux off the table. And
Okay, how do you think? Oh, Iroquois. Okay.
Yeah, Euro I think is drastically underrated at the moment. And I feel uncomfortable. I felt when I was playing, I felt uncomfortable playing against different people's Euro. I don't know. This matchup's always been somewhat Euro favored on RE, where it's just bow rider against camping with tomahawks and forest prowlers. But with the way we've changed up Sioux, I think the game should be way different now. And Kaiser loves going for Wakina axe rider and mixing in a few additional units on the side.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here. I've got some ideas, but looks like we're on our way into game number 5. Game number 4.
Game number 4. Game number 4, absolutely. Iroquois versus Sioux. We'll see how it pans out. H2O reckons it'll be quite different from RE patch Sioux versus Iroquois, with the balance changes and changes that are not so balanced. Just changes in general on RE on ESOC patch. Spawning in the north of the map in the color blue, we do have Tit playing as the Iroquois.
What? Iroquois?
It's Iroquois. It was the French that named them, I believe, and they took on the French name, so I think Iroquois.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh. Brilliant. All right. Tit picking up 20 coin there, not a particularly big treasure, and looks like he's going to get some scouting value out of that discovery travois before he puts it into a building. 150 coin, I think he just missed on the front there, but he's going to find locations of trading posts.
No, he saw it.
Oh yeah, he sees it with the Control Shift F, yeah. And it looks like that's exactly where the Explorer is going to go, going to be picking that up. Absolutely voiced plosive ejective right there for you. Here we have in the south of the map, the Kaiserklein. Not picking up that coin treasure. Yeah, I think the Kaiserklein. I think that's the appropriate way to introduce
him. Or
him.
Mr. Klein as well.
Mr. Klein to you.
That's Mr. Klein to you. Alright, we'll just follow this Explorer around. Uneventful things happening with Tit gathering 150 coin.
I don't know how you follow that one around. It's quite fast. It moves very quickly. Yeah.
The camera lock. He's giving us a tour of the basin.
The whole basin. It's just like waltzing around, showing us the basin. Brilliant. Okay. 150 coin Tit manages to pick up. So far, surprisingly, Kaiser not really very many. Oh, 80 wood. I suppose that is quite a good treasure, actually. And he's just mostly looking around. That's why he is giving us a tour, right? He hasn't found very many good treasures to go for. And that's why he's just running around so much, showing us the whole basin. Meanwhile, I think Tit doing quite well for treasures. And this is an interesting matchup where In most of the time, you're scared of coming into contact with that Sioux Explorer since it's quite strong and it'll chase you around the map with its superior speed. But the Iroquois Explorer being much stronger since the War Chief has extra attack and hit points relative to the European, he's not going to be as scared of the Explorer here. Coming into contact, and actually, yeah, except Explorer Sioux is going to escape quite easily.
Yeah.
Building a house. Slamming it down next to this coin mine in the middle of the map, that long house there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those sort of placements?
Well, it's like you scout it until you need to build the house, and then you build it, and I think sometimes
Okay, so
it
you
can
get as
in
much
trouble,
scouting
but-
value as you can, but results in sometimes a poor placement.
Yeah, and I think
A vulnerable placement is perhaps the more accurate way to explain. What do you think, Doug?
yeah, occasionally you lose the house, but usually you don't. Sioux isn't going to probably be in a position to siege that house down unless he does some sort of cav semi thing, and Euro goes full FF. But based on the way this game is likely to go out, with I'm imagining some sort of units from Tit and Colonial.
Yeah.
He should be fine. And this was the last treasure I've mentioned to get on the map, and Tit's going to be here just in time to attempt the steal.
Yeah, he's 60
And
food
he
there.
got
Looks
it.
like he did. Yeah, he got it. And then, are they going to fight here? I guess he's going to fight until the wolf dies.
Yeah, he's got
Oh,
another
pretty
pet
good.
as well. He's going to walk that one away.
And then get out of here.
Just
That
taking
Cougar.
his little bit of damage that he can get.
Cougar running away there, off to do some more scouting. And he's got a pet of his own, the blue player, that wolf there. Going to go down and pick up that 30 coin by the looks of it. Sioux, let's take a look at Control Shift F. What has he got on his mind? 30 coin. Quite an uneventful game in terms of treasures. There was a 80 wood, which was pretty good, and 150 coin, which was pretty good. But aside from that, one contention over not particularly big 60 food treasure. But still, there it is. Colonial Age is now underway. Both players are aging up. Actually, Tit already up. Here he is in the north of the map. Let's see what he does. Building a longhouse there.
Warhead should be going down in the middle of the map. Kaiser did not see it with the Cougar, did he? This is really important. He catches it. And now the Explorer can start to wreak havoc on that. And he really wants to try to deny that as best he can. He does have food, I believe. Yeah, he's got this big hunt here. And they have a big
Oh,
hunt.
standing on top of the foundation. Doesn't manage to get up. Now going to have to walk around. Holy shit, the Cougar there as well. Can that block? Getting the Explorer to try and block. There's only two places because of the trees. It's going to go down. No,
He
it
gets
doesn't.
it.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
That was
Oh
so
my-
close. So close.
That was closer than I could have. That could have just been a quick end to the game there. 250 woods. Does manage to get down. And H2O says, yes, you do have hunt, Kaiser. Fear not. Okay, now the war hut is safe. It's being built. Looks like Kaiser going to race on down to this southern trading post here and place that foundation. They're going to get that up.
Yeah, and I think he was expecting there to be more hunt. But when you look at like the setup that both these players have, he does have a bigger thing of bighorns back here, but they also have less food on them than the deer over here. So the numbers aren't too bad. And look at this. Tit has a Vil up here. I wonder how this Vil got here. We missed it, but maybe just rallied along with the war hut. And
Oh yeah, perhaps
nicely
it was
timing
a
these four
mistake.
Kanya horsemen here. Gonna get them into the base before the war hut goes down, and he's gonna kill at least two Vils here. Oh! You
Just
got
the
it.
one, but one very low life and can
More
come back
importantly,
later on. And
sieging
they're going to
this
use
down.
the remaining, the remaining HP, yeah, you said it.
And
Okay,
at
it's
this
escaping
point,
on the other side.
there's tomahawks coming over here too, and not even 700 wood too. These four Kanya are just could be game winning. Honestly, I mean they're doing so much damage right now, and maybe he even goes for the TP here with the tomahawks.
This is
Just to start
Kanye's new
sieging
album
stuff down.
right there.
And he did catch the Explorer out, but the Explorer even will live here, I think. One
Just one
two more
poke.
two more pokes, and you won't even
He
be able to
can't
get it.
risk it now. He has to get out. Those tomahawks going to kill him. But it would be nice to take down the Euro Explorer, get rid of that crack shot potentially. But look, this war hut's still not up. These Kanya doing so
There's
much
no way they
damage.
get
As
it
you were
up
saying.
too. And Tit's
And
gonna have another set of shipments coming soon. He went for a really aggressive play here.
Yeah, and just perhaps catching Kaiser off guard here. Perhaps he's going to pick himself up a nice quick win, although not over yet. It's starting to pick up that wood, but going to be a real problem not having that military building up. It's just 6 tomahawks as well, and more military. Look, just
Explorer
streaming
goes
into his
down.
face.
And
Like
what is
he's just
Kaiser
never
gonna
gonna.
send?
Lol, wait, lol, wait. Just let me get my. TP didn't.
Oh, he didn't finish his TP even. We didn't even notice that.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I thought he was just saying, "Lol, wait, I'm not ready for you to fuck around in my base yet. Just wait.
And all these Kanyas somehow are basically still at full HP because I think that TC's been focusing down the Tomahawk, which is probably correct. But at the same time, he's just... I mean, this is just so rough for Kaiser. Everything that could go wrong has, and this Warhead is just never going to go down, I don't think. There's you can't beat 20 Tomahawks as Sioux. You have no Minutemen or anything.
This is so uncomfortable to watch. I just feel like this is so frustrating for Kaiser. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's even going to catch the one Ville on the gold mine, the only gathering Ville on the map. And it's killing the TP now, just kind of clearing everything out of here. The TP is going to matter because you could use that to power up a 6-seat shipment here. Nice move by Kaiser though, forcing full volleys of Tomahawks and then re-garrisoning without losing a Ville. But again, it's an endless rally at this point. It's like a bit of inevitable checkmate sort of situation.
Yeah, he's just not been able to do anything. Tip 2 unexpectedly caught him off guard.
Yeah,
with
they're
a
16
fairly
on the way,
aggressive opening, and now just not going to be able to get his resources spent because he just never managed to get the building up, and then lost the trading post as well. As you said it earlier, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and now this is just bleeding out without being able to do anything. Villagers coming out, trying to slam down some stuff.
Those TPs for the 6-seat shipment. These 6 sheets.
Okay, I see. God, they built quickly. Damn, and now the villagers
punching. This is his only chance.
Yeah,
there's no point in holding. Even if he holds it, he'll have like 2 Vills left.
Yeah, and that's just game over from there. Wow, this is quick, decisive victory for Tit.
Yeah, just unfortunately for Kaiser, everything that could have gone wrong in that early transition did, and this is
filthy.
Filthy.
Just like the overlay, except in a bad way.
Right. This is like. Yeah, Tit's play this game is basically the overlay. I'm gonna mark this as a 2-0 real quick here.
You might want to flick the overlay on just so people can see how filthy it is.
Maybe we should just censor this because it's so brutal.
Let's find the Explorer and take a tour around the base.
Right.
I'm done with this
after
game.
taking us a tour through the basin, he has not had a good run.
Oh my god. Censor it. Yeah,
I appreciate the effort though. Two dog soldiers. This actually could clear this up. Dog soldiers do really well, and Tomahawk's trying to get into hand attack are just asking to get punched.
And the villagers here as well are gonna, supply a bit of extra damage as well. No, they're dead.
He tried.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Rubber ducky. $10 IQ strap. Yeah, he's tilted.
He's a little tilted there. I don't blame him. That's a tough outcome to swallow, getting your entire game plan just destroyed that fast. But Tit very decisive in the early game, and the Fort Kanya shipment just paying off huge.
Sorry, I saw that in chat and thought it was hilarious.
Which one? The rubber ducky or?
No, you've left the game now, haven't you? Alright, let's leave that one. Quick 9-minute decisive victory for Tit, bringing the score up to 2-2. 10 IQ strat, says Kaiser. Clearly not pleased with the events of that game, but was on him to defend it and didn't do so. Although, as we kept saying, there were a number of things that went wrong for him there, just spiraling down into this awful thing that happened. Anyway, game number 5, the decider, is coming up next. So we're going to conclude this series now. Do stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. This has been a really interesting series so far, except perhaps for that game. But because that game made the score even, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very, very close series at this point.
At this point, yes. Alright, though Kaiser, having just lost that game, does perhaps have a slight advantage going into this next one, so I could still pick up the victory here off the back of that. Kaiser here gets to pick the map, and will be able to pick his civilization in response to his opponents as well. I wonder how the Civ dynamic has what's happened now, because obviously there's no reset, and there's a number of civilizations they've already played that they cannot play now. So this next final matchup could be quite an unusual, or sort of, a matchup that perhaps one of the players wouldn't really have much experience with or would usually play, or something like that. So it could be an interesting game, and I think... Sorry, I need to stop tailing off. I'm not really sure. I think, yes, I think it'll be interesting. Oh dear. He's so tilted. He's really not pleased with how that last game went. Grand Chaco or Alaska, going to be playing on Grand Chaco. It looks like we are, and it's interesting as well now, because this is, both of these maps were non-TP maps. So a non-TP map was going to be picked here 100%. And now I wonder how many civilizations. Yeah, Russia was played earlier by who played that? Kaiser, I think, and British was played earlier by, oh dear, I think Kaiser.
By Tit.
So by Tit. Oh, I see. Okay, so the number of civilizations they have left that can be played effectively on a non-trading post map is less. So Tit still has Russia available, comfortable with Russia. That's a good pick for him. Now Kaiser gets to counter pick here, but his options are severely limited, given that there are a few civilizations he can't play, but also he needs something that isn't reliant on trading posts. So what does he have available to him that fits that criteria?
Well, he's already played that. So
Okay.
Let's see, what does he have? He could
you
play
can't- you
Brit.
can't-
He could play India.
Yeah. Okay, those are good. He's actually got some flexibility here. Russia would have been a pick in there that was possible for the Russian mirror, but can't do that, of course. What is Kaiserklein comfortable with then, out of the civs that you mentioned?
I think he's been playing some of these natives lately, like Euro, Sioux, and that. So maybe maybe Euro will see come up, but Euro really likes to have a TP. Is the thing.
Do you think he'll just go India or something like that?
He can't. I've never seen Kaiser play India, so
Yeah.
I feel like he's in a tough spot, actually.
Yeah, that's probably why I wasn't pleased when he was getting upset about the map pool. This is because it's forcing him into playing a civ that he's not 100% comfortable with.
Yeah, and it's always Kaiser gets into the situation a lot because his civ pool is based on relative to how good he is. He has a pretty narrow civ pool. France, a German, Russian being the primary, and then Sioux and Euro being kind of secondary civs he's been building lately. So
Yeah.
I mean, the only civ I even know of that I've seen him play a lot of would be Euro, but maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll play some India or some other civ that. I mean, he can play the civ okay, I'm sure, because he's a good player, but just maybe won't know the details of the build.
Yeah, and perhaps he'll just go for something like Iroquois anyway, as you said. Like maybe feeling comfortable and knowing the civ trumps, a civ, a map, a civ that's good on this particular map. I mean, they're all still playable. They're just not. It's just disappointing to not have a trading post. Putting some thought into this versus Russia. Any thoughts on Kaiserklein playing British? Probably not something you'd want to do versus Russia.
I mean, Brits are pretty good. Like as we saw with Tit, you can beat Russia for sure. It's just a matter of what Kaiser's comfortable with. I think it's got to be Brit or India or Euro are the three that I see possibly coming in the future.
Yeah. What are you gonna have for dinner?
I don't know yet. Maybe a burrito. I feel like a burrito would be really good right now.
Oh, baby. I really want chicken wraps or something. What do I have in the house? Not a lot. I have bacon. But that's not really a meal.
No, not at all.
No. I could put it in between a slice of bread. Or 2 slices of bread, actually. What else do I have? I have hummus.
Ooh, I like hummus.
I bought some hummus that I really am not enjoying.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. It just tastes a bit weird. So it's quite hit and miss with hummus for me. It's not something I usually like, but I've been trying to be healthy and stuff. So
Yeah, it's like it's very very good for how healthy it is.
yeah, okay. If you were to graph its healthiness versus its taste, it's probably
It's like it's really good. It's really high.
yeah. Yeah, okay. That was so... Okay, can you pull that graph up for me? No. Oh, Portuguese. Okay. How do you feel about... That's interesting. I suppose this is... I feel like Port is better with a trading post, but there's certainly a lot of room here to go without it. It's probably a civ that's reasonable against Russia.
Yeah.
I suppose it's very hunt dependent, how much hunt he can get under his TC and how attentive he is to herding it.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking about. Is the hunts on this map can be a little tricky at times. So hopefully, he can get enough food in his base. I really don't know. I mean, having the TCs helps a lot, obviously, against the pressure. And in Fortress, they surely do pretty well with Goon Cassador. He seems to have the food to be able to make it there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can even do quite well in Colonial because I mean, Huntstars just do so well against Russia.
But as I was saying, like this is at the end of this particular map pool, at the end of this particular best of 5, we're going to see a matchup that is unusual and perhaps different. And I think this is actually a great success of the tournament in a way that we get to see something like this. I know the players don't like it, but putting them in unusual situations can be, I think, resulting in interesting and entertaining games. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully that doesn't get thrown back in my face. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 5 in a best of 5 between Tit and Kaiserklein. This is the decider. The score is 2-2. Whoever wins this will progress through to the next round. The loser will be eliminated. This is the round of 8 playoffs for the Grand Tour Season 1. At the end of it, the ending bit, you know, when we've done all the mini ones, and now we've got these players left, and now we're going to see who wins. So yes, this is exciting. Raise your voice and get really, really pleased about it. Here we go, spawning in the north of the map. In the colour red, we do have Kaiserklein. Spawning with 2 wood crates, says Port. I think that is actually... I guess he's going to get a market, because you're not going to be making trading post on this map, because there isn't one. But still, probably better than a coin start, so we'll be pleased with that. Russia going to have access to that wood crate as well. Russia, we'll see if he goes for a market. Actually, I think this wood crate favours Ports. I think he'll be pleased with that. Going to get 70 wood as well. Russia actually now in a very nice spot. That's a really, really nice treasure to have off the bat. Certainly going to be going for the market here. Let's take a look what Kaiserklein might find walking into the middle of the map. Ooh, cassava. What's cassava? It's worth 100 food. That's what it is. There it is. I'm not going to be going for that.
More important than anything is where are the llamas, and Kaiser has just somehow managed to miss this pond on the left, and maybe he'll know the TP's spawn, and if the TP's here and the pond is above it, and so on. So somehow, though, I mean that's really what matters here. And so even though Tit got the 70 wood, if he's not able to get, and it looks like he will get these llamas up here, that would be quite bad. Yeah, well, neither player has gotten any llamas yet. Hunting Dog's now in for Kaiserklein. That's nice and early. He's going to be pleased with that. He is popped at the moment, but the house is under construction. Yes, no one has any llamas yet. Perhaps he can get it. In the meantime, going for 100 food, and they are quite bunched up around the pond, so providing Tit doesn't go over there, he should be able to get them. 100 food is going to be a nice pickup here, and that's going to speed him on up to the next stage, which is exactly what he wants against Russia, his opponents that can be quite aggressive. Make sure he can get that town centre up in a good spot quickly, all of these things. 30 wood was picked up by Tit as another smaller wood treasure, lots of wood. It looks like he's not going to be going for a market, H-Joe. He's left his wood on the floor, and he had that 70 wood as well. Yeah, he could get a really easy blockhouse here, potentially. And since Russia really wants one of those, or, market in transition, then blockhouse, that's going to be pretty important. And now Kaiser's going to see that llama on the edge of the map, and probably be a little sad. And he'll see the llama. It's blocked into line of sight.
Oh, I see. And then he'll know where it is, and he's going to head on over there. Looks like Tit has managed to get his 2 llamas. Actually, it looks like Kaiser going to get a bit able to pick up 2 of what really are Tit's llamas.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for him there. And sees a 100 XP treasure as well. I wonder if he'll get bogged up with that and start trying to get it, or perhaps he'll try and go over and get his llamas on the other side of the map. I mean, it's quite a walk now. Maybe this XP treasure is just better. Interesting question. Do llamas fatten whilst they're not aligned to a player? By the looks of
yes,
it,
they do.
they do, yeah.
And llamas, I believe, fatten faster than other animals, not on a pen. At a faster rate than other animals will, not on a pen.
The unit, the more food it has, the more quickly it fattens. So cows fatten the fastest.
Really? Interesting. I
Yeah,
always thought llamas were faster
they have
than
a
anything.
I don't know, maybe it is. Cows can support 500 food, llamas 400, and sheep 300.
Yeah, on a pen they're definitely not faster, but I've always, at least for some reason, I have this anecdote in my mind that llamas fatten the fastest of all animals off of it.
Huh, that might actually make sense from a real-life perspective as well. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Guns, gems.
He's used that crack shot glitch in the other game.
What's the crack shot glitch? Don't tell me, actually. Not on stream, anyway. I didn't even realize there was a crack shot glitch. Is there? I didn't realize there was a glitch. That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, you can basically cancel your animation so that way you have no loading. Basically, you can just fire like a machine gun as fast as you want. And
Whoa, wow, that sounds fucking dumb.
yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not allowed in the rules, so.
Is that something that's fixable from a tech perspective?
No, it's not.
Even for DE?
No, that is on the list. I'm sure. I mean, that's on the list of things that you could absolutely fix.
Oh, I see. Okay. More interestingly, these llamas. Okay, we'll just ignore the.
Yeah. More importantly, llama getting stolen here. Will the other one get stolen? Kaiser's just running it down. And these guys have not spent any time on the llamas, really, surprisingly.
Huh.
Kaiser is bringing in 4 of the llamas. There's still 2 undetected. And all that wood that Tit got is leading, like we talked about, to a very clean and easy blockhouse that'll get started up right
look
now.
at that. It's so far forward. Thankfully, though, Kaiser did manage to get that 100 food, which might mitigate the speed of the blockhouse a bit.
Yeah, we had also talked about the herding situation. Kaiser did get a 13 village up, which is what he needed to do. And Kaiser has also herded really well and is able to put down this town center in a really
look
good
at this!
spot.
He's located the blockhouse and he's slamming down walls all around it. But will they get up in time? I actually don't think they.
I think they will.
You think he's just going to build a little bit of each wall around it, just so that they can't be obstructed there? Yeah, look at that villager just building a wall there to stop it. That's exactly what he needed to do.
The Cossacks are about to pop out. I don't think that any of this is worth it.
He's last game it was up against a 10 IQ strat, and now he's going to do a 10 IQ strat.
You still about 10 seconds before the Cossacks pop out. They're going to siege the lower wall segment after they pop out, and then walk through and kill the villager. That's what's going to happen here.
Maybe he can get that last wall up and then retreat just in time. I guess they'll run around the coin mine. He needs to get out of here.
Yeah, no, right.
How do you...
Oh, I mistimed that by about 10 seconds, I guess. So.
Okay, but actually those 10 seconds will probably be enough to get back and be safe.
Yeah, very close.
It's going to be close. I think actually, yeah, that seems fine actually.
Look at the Muslims getting stuck.
Are they stuck?
He has to siege. He can't walk out. He has to siege now. They're all stuck. He has to kill all the wall segments.
I was about to ask you how worthwhile do you think this wall is? Because obviously all it's supplying is making his opponent walk around, which is a bit awkward, but really not that much
of an
inconvenience given that the wood. But now that he has to siege it, that's obviously time.
There's never any hunts on this map. Like, he has a hunt over here, and there's never more hunts than that. This hunt's here, he's herded in that hunt. There's one hunt back here. And
5 hussars arriving, now chasing. He knows the location of these Cossacks here. Perhaps he can find them. Because they're big. He was just duped by their stationariness. That's quite funny. He's looking for them. He knows they're here, but actually he's just gone past them. The Explorer has found them now, so he's going to go back. They were there all along. It looks like they're going to chase down that Explorer. Going to be able to engage here with the...
Getting snared, and already getting snared by the Kev, and he could lose all the Cossacks here. Tit not reacting just yet. All the Cossacks there, and the muskets can't even get over here because they still have half of a wall to kill. So all these Cossacks are definitely going to die here. Tit doing a great job though.
Of trying to get out.
Yeah, he lost 3 effectively. Ooh, Kaiser, look at that pull. He pull tricked forward with the formation to snare and take another Cossack, so he's going to get 4 in total now. The wall's still not down, so no musketeer support coming anytime soon.
Is this pressure effectively offline now? Like, Ports has just had so much time to do whatever he wants. Like, he's gathered lots of food. There's going to be this less units in queue, 700 gold on the floor. He's just doing what he wants without being, having to face any early pressure, without having to put any villagers in the town center. And obviously these Cossacks are gone.
He's even going to kill the 5 musketeer, the other 5 still have to run. Like, this wall segment has literally, maybe even, won him this early game. And we were questioning it, but, I mean, he's going to clean up those other muskets, maybe? No?
No, you don't at this point. Look, you've lost quite a bit of health on those Hussars, right? You want to get out of here. Maybe he's got more units in queue. So, he's got 2 more Hussars. Join up with those. And
he's lost, all of 2 Hussars worth of HP, and he's killed 5 muskets and 5 Cossacks. That's insane.
He's going to catch 4 more Cossacks as well. He's going to slash these. They're going to have to try and get out of here. Manages to escape with 2 by the looks of it.
Yeah, Kaiser has to run
2 in a bit.
Yeah, but Kaiser's aging, uncontested aging up, and he's got all the food he needs.
And a shipment and a half.
He can just drop a TC in this little corner here, and just control that hunt and do whatever he wants. Really, I mean, he could send crates, he could send 5 goons. He may even want to send 1,000 gold here, and just go full production.
So what? Okay, so what are the options? 1,000 gold and just start slamming units and making stuff. What else could he do? Send traditional units?
That's all he can do, because he's aging up super fast right now and he has 0 gold in the bank, so...
Okay. Okay, that's what he's decided to do, right? The thing is, this gives the blue player a bit of time to do something.
He just tossed 5 goons in there. So...
okay.
Be interesting to see how this works out for him. I'm not sure if I like or do not like what this TC wagon's doing. It feels... a little tense, and
it looks like it's just rallied over there for some. Where is it? What's a good place for them? Oh, let's take a look at this first.
We killed 1 Hussar, but Kaiser now knows that all of Tit's military is over in that location, and Tit appears to be saving to age while putting a blockhouse on future resources from Kaiser. And Kaiser will catch this because his cav is probably going to go forward and just try to check this out. I have a feeling that the TC wagon's going to see it and he'll be able to get over there.
Yeah, because the foundation's behind it, and now he's seen it, and now the Hussars are going over there. He
knows that he's
going to abandon it, isn't he? But here come the blue units. I mean, he did just age, so he's still got to produce stuff in the time being. This town center is a bit vulnerable. Dragoons, though, are going to remedy that quite quickly. Those Cossacks not going to be able to really do anything here. Sees the musks and is probably going to want to get back. 10 goons, so that's really, really nice.
Yeah, now he's just going to pick off units here. I think he's going to play the poke game and try to poke vills. He could kill that 1 vill. He will.
So not really able to push the musketeers in a meaningful way, but can certainly poke at them.
His own wall is either helping or hurting. I can't tell right now. Maybe he thinks he thinks it's helping. Clearly, he repaired it and committed to finishing it. But he's going to deny this blockhouse, as Russian musketeers do not do well against goons.
No.
And Tit's almost up to fortress now, but Kaiser is out on the map.
Oh, he deleted it. Look at that. Just was that the dupe to go back in and get it? Anyway, looks like those goons gonna be fighting these musketeers here. Gonna bring in the cavalry as well. Do you think he'll pop minutes from that new town center just to help out? And
I don't think so. I think he's just trying to kill the vills on this.
Oh, I see. And the Castador's now joining as well. That's gonna.
Oh, I got both the vills. It didn't finish.
It's so big that this isn't up. That's denying production plus that fire. Now able to engage actually properly. Now
it really just depends on what the shipment is that's popping out of that blockhouse right now. If it's not like a Cossack shipment on top of the Castadors, Kaiser's just going to be able to steamroll this game over. And there's 1 Cossack in queue, but Tit has no resources to build more than that. So really well timed from Kaiser to take control of this game here and deny 2 blockhouses while getting back on the map.
And kill the 3rd, the original one, perhaps. It looks like Blue Tit is going to try and do something about this.
There's a shipment, 5 cav archers.
That doesn't seem...
That's not scary.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that great against
Ooh,
the Cossacks.
5 Cossacks!
Well, that's quite good, though. And the Dragoons are dwindling in number. Those Cossacks going to go to town. Actually, there's more Dragoons than I thought there were. I thought there was 3. There's actually quite a few going to be able to take. But still, losing a few, getting a good number of damage on there. Though that's quite a lot of Cossacks. The Dragoons are very strong still. Does force him off, but did lose the blockhouse.
Yeah, and Kaiser's still chasing, and he's going to get another volley here. Oh, no, he lost line of sight, but using that 50% range resist here to great effect, just able to sit underneath the blockhouse and not worry about the damage he's taking. What is Kaiser's next move going to be, though? He did go for 2 military shipments, and as we know, Port has so many TCs that it's oftentimes hard to get units out if you don't just pump a bunch of crates out. And he does have 4 llamas he could use to accelerate here, but also sneaking out here to mine, and the 6 Cossack shipment is in. Almost wondering if those 5 Cav archers were the 6 Cossacks, if this game would have been actually almost over in the other direction.
What do you think? Why do you think he sent cavalry? Oh, do you think it's because he knew he had Cossacks in queue at the stable and just wanted to balance out his comp? It just seems really odd to me that he didn't send them, but I suppose that's what he was thinking, that he'd had Cossack support coming in queue anyway. This looks dicey. There's a lot of blue units here. Huh. It's
good.
strong, but it's good, yeah, but he's just lost a bunch of Cassadors, and these Dragoons are having a hard time.
They won. As long as he keeps all 5 goons up, he'll continue to one-shot. And honestly, the MEMs here are honestly enough.
Yeah, well, he can now keep these. If he can try and.
He's just totally forcing this.
Yeah, because the Musketeers, they have to stay here because they're being engaged. Thing is, though, that this is not cost-effective for Mamelukes, but they have so much HP they can probably just power through it anyway.
Yeah.
More Dragoons joining the fray are going to be very strong against these Cossacks.
The cost effectiveness here is just the fact that goons are having free reign on Cossacks, and he's lost like 20 or 30 Cossacks over the course of this little exchange. And Kaiser's still stabilizing enough, using the Mamluks, even though they weren't fighting the right counter units. He recognized that he needs to fight now, and 7 Cassadors coming too. He's just totally committed to pushing out the blockhouse. Yeah, exactly, regaining control.
And by proactively forcing an engagement there, it does protect his far out villages, the ones on the coin mine in the extremities of the map, because he knows his opponent's going to be focused on this fight here rather than running around the map destroying his villages. So in a way, this is protecting by focusing all of the energy of both players into one area. That's another benefit that's happening here. Takes out the blockhouse, more importantly, and the stable as well. So that's
5
really
more goons on the way too. He canceled the inside of the stable. Tit's just giving up the middle of the map, and now, economically speaking, Kaiser has 60 vills. He's been playing this incredibly solid, making vills out of all his TCs while he's been doing this the entire time. I've been checking for 3s on the units in queue, so Kaiser's economy is just out of control right now. And
damn.
And Tit's kind of struggling to rebuild production. That was kind of the cost of losing the middle of the map for him, is a big pause to rebuild stables, blockhouses, and get more housing up.
Stuff in general. Look at this, red coming towards all of these gold villages on the next to this blockhouse here. If he identifies that they're there, that's where he just goes, right? Sits on top, actually sees these hunt villages, going to force them away, does pick one off. 2 organ guns have arrived. Not the best shipment, but just adding in more pressure. It does add to his comp here, I think.
Yeah, it's quite nice against these Strelets too. I think what he's recognized is that he's got such a strong kind of force here that if he sends unit shipments along with what he's already got, he's just in a really strong position. Coming in for the flank here, but flanking with Strelets into Mamluks is not very strong unless he's able to catch these organ guns out. It looks like unpack.
He's found.
If he unpacks, it could be he could clean those up. This may just force. This is one of those fights that's just forcing the game-ending fight, even if it looks good because he's losing the organs.
+6s. Still some value out of those. Does lose them, but does force an engagement, as you said.
Yeah. And now the Miners get the snare, and we can just chase them down and clean up all those veteran Strelets.
Yeah.
Minutemen on the way, very smart, and keeping those 2 Cav archers alive because his life kind of depends on being able to do some damage to the Mamluks here.
Yeah.
Look at that, a full volley didn't even kill that one man.
It's basically dead now, though. Yeah. A full volley again on it, though, with such low HP.
Yeah.
And now he just has to... There's no mams, but look at the present... there's just so many military units here.
Yeah, there's just a lot of presence, and no stable from Tit, no units in queue from Tit at the moment. He's just trying to get above water here.
Yeah, I was about to say something similar. He's just trying to float. I don't know, you beat me to it, yeah. Blockhouse gonna go down. Another pause. Yeah, and this red baller units might just be unstoppable at this point.
Yeah. I mean, when you're down by 50 military population as Russia against Port, you know you're in trouble. So, Dragoon Combat coming in, first upgrade card of the game, very well timed because it doesn't buff his Mamluks, but it would buff any future Hussars he makes as well. And Goons getting stronger is always good for Port. So, look at what he's doing here. He's scouting in this upper corner just to clear the map because he needs to both hunt down there, and he also wants to make sure that when he pushes in, he hasn't missed any cheesy things like Vills gathering in the corner, etc. At the same time, this is a very vulnerable point on the map, and Tit is trying to make something happen with his Manchu here. Yeah.
Built-in Ganandite.
Kaiserklein could lose all these Vills and still have a huge economic lead, which is just obvious in and of itself. And these Strelad are pretty exposed while the Manchu are raiding. Really, just buying time more than anything, which is what Tit needs is a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you think, though, he sees the Manchu attacking his villages and realizes, okay, they're not near the rest of his army, and I can just push in now? But this is what he was going to do anyway. This is where he's trying to pull out the game.
Yeah, and this is where those Manchu are not enough to clean up all these cav, and the 6s are just popping up everywhere. Even, yeah, there we go, Tit recognizing it and calling GG. And,
GG, ladies and gentlemen, Kaiserklein does progress through to the semi-finals. Tit is eliminated. The score is 3-2. That concludes this best of 5. All 5 games being played here. That was really interesting, actually. I thought after the previous game with the 10 IQ strat, according to Kaiser, we were going to see a 10 IQ strat back where he walls in the blockhouse. Didn't look like it was going to be that effective, but then the Musks spawned and were trapped in there and had to siege down the wall, giving him lots of extra time and just giving him lots of...
And more importantly, Kaiser got on top of the situation and killed 5 Cossacks and 5 muskets because of that delay. So it gave him all the lead he needed to just age up the fortress after making only 7 Hussar. And from there he was just able to, like we saw, roll those unit shipments through. You see 5 Goon, 8 Cast, 5 Mem, 7 Cast, 2 Organ, one after another, just to constantly keep the military production out on the map.
And that is it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. The 100 score difference. Yeah, damn. That was a game. That was a series, actually, more accurately. I enjoyed casting that one. That was really fun. Thank you, Kaiserklein. Thank you, Tit, and my man H2O.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to end the stream.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.